Where are the low value men? Like, what are all the low value men up to during these trying times? Because the high value men, I know they're around. They won't shut the fuck up. Low value men, I have not heard a word out of. I'm starting to think I'm on their side. I think I want one of those. I want a low value man. They don't make podcasts. I haven't seen one low value man make a podcast. Do they not know how to use microphones? Maybe that's a good thing. That's hot. All right, I've never seen a man use a microphone for good.
Until now, everybody buckle up. It's low value mail time with your host, Danny Polishchuk. What's up, Scroats? How is it going? Welcome back to an all-new episode of Low Value Mail, episode number 111. 111. What does it all mean? I'm sure some of you got ideas. On this Monday, July 15th, 2024, the year of our Lord. What a week it has been. Joining us tonight, very shortly, I'm going to bring him on, Alex Stein. I'm sure you all know him. And if you don't, what are you doing with your life? Before we get started, before we bring it on, it's been a historic week, obviously. We're going to get into it. It's, unprecedented, and I'm not going to make a shitty pun there. I guess it's not unprecedented, but it's crazy, regardless. And it's a real-time conspiracy. Really, I know we're in the fog of war in this, but man, it does not pass the smell test. So before we get started, please like and subscribe. Hit the like button. Subscribe to this channel. Importantly, if you're not subscribed to the channel, hit that subscribe button, hit the like button, leave a rating or a review over on Spotify. But if you'd like to support the show, you can do so over at patreon.com/lowvaluemail, MAIL. $5 a month. You get ad-free audio. And we're going to be back with an after show next week. And I'm taking the after show. The after show will, as of next week, go back to being for paid subscribers only, because a lot of people support the show on Patreon. I'm not going to lie, I don't have a lot to offer in terms of kind of special content for the people who actually pay. We've been having a good time on the after shows, so that is going to be available for paid subscribers only. I think there are the odd $1 memberships, and you can join the channel for $1. So, I mean, I'd be remiss to say you're being a bit of a Jew coming from me if it's not worth $1. But anyways, you can join the channel for $1. You can sign up at Patreon for $5. You get ad-free audios, all that stuff. And we'll be back with a new episode of The Bathhouse tomorrow night at 9 p.m. Joining me, the only one I can remember at this moment, is Drew Montana from the Do-Rag and the Deer Tag podcast, and a couple others who I don't have it in front of me right now. I apologize. It is no slight to them at all. And I am not going to keep Alex Stein waiting. I would not do such a thing. I mean, I am currently, but I will not continue to do such a thing. And just put myself a little that there. And let's bring on the man himself.
Hold on. Why am I getting no audio? Can you hear me?
I can hear you fine. Can you hear me?
Yeah, something's wrong with my stream for some reason. I don't think they can hear me.
Shit.
I know. Well, you can hear me fine.
I hate
Babe,
this stuff.
check it. Let's see if it can hear me. Hold on. Let's see.
I hate this stuff.
Let me test it.
Let's test it out. Alex Stein, everybody.
Yeah, you can hear me. All right, everything's working. Gosh dang it. Well, dude, Danny, I've been wanting to talk to you.
Dude, you're looking dapper as always. How you doing, buddy?
Well, I'm a pimp on a blimp. You know that.
Yeah. You're not in Milwaukee this for the next couple of days?
Well, I'm going tomorrow morning, and that's kind of why I wanted to talk to you. And we could pull it up. Like, we can look at Eric Andre. I guess he went, I guess it was like 8 years ago now.
Yeah.
And he acted a fool. And I have creator credentials, so I got credentials to go in. I'm bringing one cameraman. But I'm like, what am I going to do? I mean, I know I'm going to probably network, I guess, with some important people and introduce myself and talk, but I'm talking about content ideas.
Sure. Yeah, I mean, here's the thing is, everybody's kind of, Biden got rid of the attack ads. Everyone's kind of pumping the brakes right now as to not see him, because obviously someone did die, Someone is, I believe, in critical condition, 1 or 2 people. But it's obviously, it's a serious thing. But like I said off the top, I don't know if you heard me, but this is very much like a conspiracy happening in real time.
It's a big conspiracy. What are you talking about?
Well,
the only other vantage point in that Pennsylvania area was that roof on the other side. Like we could even pull the diagram, but you don't even have to. There was like no high spots. They're out in the middle of a field in Pennsylvania. If a sniper, a counter sniper, or whatever is going to be there, we had snipers. How are they not immediately able to know that that guy was on the roof? And he had a ladder. You're at a Trump rally. I've been to these rallies. There's security all around. So just the idea that this guy just, willy-nilly put up a ladder, walked up there, no big deal. There's, stories of witnesses saying, "Oh,
25 minutes before the shooting, there was a video of people being like, there's a guy laying on the roof, prone."
And it's like that meme with the numbers. I'm like, why, they overreact. So it's all the time. It's like with 9/11, when they underreact, they weren't able to scramble the jets and get NORAD, the defense planes to go, stop these planes, which is BS. They can like scramble a jet in 30 seconds. They can literally like press a button and they'll be in the air in 30 seconds. They have a crew. And they can put multiple airs in the, multiple planes in the air on multiple runways instantly. So it's like when they tell us that like guys with box cutters, brought down the towers, and then they tell us just like a sniper was able to just get off and fire those rounds. Like I think the plan failed. I think the plan was.
Now, normally you'd think, because generally people like who are in the Secret Service, the individuals, especially like the military, police.
Did you see the Secret Service? It was a bunch of weird. They were fumbling with their sunglasses more. I didn't know if it was the Secret Service or Stevie Wonder. They're like, one's got their gun, one's trying to fix their sunglasses. Dude, that's the Secret Service. I don't want to be a misogynist. I think there's a lot of roles for women. Don't get me wrong. I mean,
administrative.
Yeah, I mean, go handle go to the crime scene and look at the bullets and do there are criminal stuff, but you're the main security. It's like you see those memes outside of the crappiest bar in the worst nightclub in the worst part of Tampa or whatever. At least they're gonna have like a 6'6" black guy, 300 pounds as a security. That's what Trump needs, is like some freaking big men that can bounce some stuff, not like these little girls that are smaller than Trump trying to carry him off stage. I was very embarrassed by that whole entire.
But I was going to say is normally
except for Trump. I wasn't embarrassed by Trump.
No. That was literally legendary. Legendary. But I was going to say is like most of those people are like ex-military. They're mostly like probably Trump supporters. Like obviously sometimes people are like, yeah, I am like the whole thing. I don't know if we've been so conditioned by movies and stuff where people are like, yeah, I don't have to like the guy, but I'll take a bullet for him because he's the commander in chief kind of thing. And, after the shots were fired, there is that one. I don't know if you saw the video of the woman who's sitting right behind him. Did you see that? And she's she keeps looking over, and then she just pulls her phone out.
Yeah, that girl's calm as crap. Like, what? And like, why are you so calm in that situation? I would have definitely pulled my phone out, but I wouldn't be calm. I would have had my phone out. Like, what the hell? I wouldn't have been like, just like.
But you're a content creator. She's just a chick at a. You at least had a reason, I suppose, but it just doesn't like, and everybody's like, well, this kid was just like some patsy. And you're like, so like, it's so hard to even put the pieces together because let's just assume that this kid wasn't a patsy. He just was some deranged kid. Like the odds of him being like, yeah, I'm going to just show up there with a rifle. Any person would be like, yeah, I'm not going to make it within 1,000 feet of that building before I get a tap on the shoulder or worse, and that's the end of it. And they're like, what the fuck are you doing over here with a loaded rifle? And he was like, it's comical that he was able to like get there, and then he's like not exact. And again, he's not even like super discreet about it. Everybody's like, there's a guy on the roof. And again, they've been throwing the kitchen sink at this guy, Trump. And, a lot of people, Tucker Carlson, your father, Alex Jones, have all been predicting that they're like, yeah, this is the next step. Like when all the lawfare stuff doesn't work, that's where you go to next. And so it's just, right. But again, I'm like, I don't like, do you think we're even going to find out anything about this? And I'm going to open the phone lines pretty shortly, everybody. So just hold your panties. We'll do that in a couple minutes. But yeah, I'm curious what your thoughts are on this whole thing. Besides what I think like a lot of people think.
What do you think the majority of people think it was like some sort of deep state?
I don't like that seems like just the obvious answer that it was allowed to, like everybody will want to say, oh, they were just incompetent, and then they'll maybe be like, oh, all the DEI stuff, but like at the end of the day, those snipers on the roof, those weren't DEI guys. Like, there was a couple chicks there working, and maybe you say, hey, like in the head of the Secret Service. And I saw her interview and she said, well, they had all these local police and they essentially didn't do their jobs. They're like, we did our jobs. But like in my mind, again, I'm just a dumb Canadian, but in my mind, the Secret Service doesn't have a limited budget. They don't have a limited amount of people. Like they're probably like how many, besides protecting Biden, I guess they have, family members and whatnot. Like they should have had a pretty large, this guy's the number one target. Everybody's been talking about killing him for 8 years.
Yeah. I mean, how is there not a police officer over there on that other building? I mean, none of it makes sense. But whether it's a deep state conspiracy or it's like a lone gunman, which I find that hard to believe. What's frustrating is that we're not going to get any transparency with like what happened. I mean, they give us his name and that he's 20 years old and then like what he donated to Act Blue, but he was wearing like a Demolition Ranch shirt. And
sure, nobody wearing Demolition Ranch shirt is going to be like some bleeding heart liberal dude. Like that is
unless he's like doing camouflage or I don't know what's going on. I have no idea. He could have been mad. Like, this sounds crazy. He could have had a bad day with his personal life and he's mad at Trump and try to do that because he's a dumb young
But
kid.
that's premeditated. I mean, I guess you can.
I don't think that's the case. I'm saying I think there's more to it. But yeah, I mean, is there a possibility somebody would be crazy and do something like that? But man, he got on that.
But to get away, to get that close is just like it makes you feel crazy that you're even like, how's. It makes you, because you're like, how is that even? I was meant to believe that, Secret Service. And I have a friend who was up until very recently in the Secret Service. Like, these guys are not like, they don't just like.
Wait, he was in the Secret Service. Does he have all of his stuff together? Or is he kind of a dope?
Well, he's not. He's definitely not. He's got his shit together. He's not a dope. He's not in the Secret Service any longer. I don't want to give out too many details about it.
Yeah, but
I did talk to him. I was just like, "What's the deal?" He didn't really want to like chat.
He didn't want to say that it's all weird DEI stuff now. And
he didn't want to say it was all DEI stuff. I will say, I mean, I haven't given really any information about it, but he basically was like they had been expecting some sort of black swan scenario.
And I don't think this is going to be the last one. I don't think they're going to stop. I'm really freaked out for that part of it.
I mean, again, if you think that, and like the fact that they're just doing this in plain sight, because I guess the kid
that's how they do it. But listen, because this is what happened with 9/11. Is when 9/11 they tried to bring down the towers in 93, I believe, and they withstood it. They put a bomb down there. And then it took them like a few years later, like they'll take multiple attempts at this. Like if they're willing to do it once, they're willing to do it again.
And how's Trump supposed to be like, assuming he gets elected? You always think they're like, and again,
maybe that's what they want. Maybe they want him to get elected and then they take him out. Could you imagine that?
I mean, I'm so conditioned by movies where like you assume like, these guys are unflappable and they're kind
Wouldn't
of
that be the movie though? Well, like, and I'm saying these, let's just say there's an Illuminati or whatever, there's an elite people. They like to like use humor to mock us or something. Wouldn't that be the movie? Like if we were writing the movie, like Joe Biden literally wins the presidency and he's like mentally ill, like in a movie, that's funny. Like, you get a dopey, dumb president, but that movie can only last so long. Right. So now they got to flip the script. Maybe that didn't cause us enough like emotional damage or psychological.
I mean, it did the opposite. Like whatever their intended effect was, they botched it. And
maybe to defeat us. But this is what I'm saying. What would defeat the American citizens the most is like let Trump win, then they take him out. That would.
And they just do it right in front of your face, where they go, "Hey, just so you know, like whatever you think how this thing works, it doesn't work that way, and we will just." I mean, again, I've been doing a joke about it, about the JFK thing, but pretty much everybody just understands that you're like, yeah, the government just killed him. Like nobody anymore thinks that they're going like, I asked the crowd, I go, who thinks Lee Harvey Oswald just did it by himself? 0 people. Like nobody even believes it anymore. But
Not anymore. For a long time, they did though.
They did.
And a lot of people, at first it was totally terrible to say 9/11 could have been something bad. Now, not everybody believes it. A lot of people definitely believe the official story, except for Flight 93. Everybody will tell you, like, yeah, they probably shot it down, but, they had to, and they can't tell us. Like, that's cognitive dissonance, knowing that they lied and be like, oh, they would only lie about that part, but not other parts. My point is, when it comes to, like, these terrible events like 9/11 and assassinations, it's just like to kill us mentally and break us down as a society, and
Yeah,
that's what's gonna happen. I mean,
just
I
be
just
like it's
think they're not gonna
futile.
stop.
Like we're just gonna do what we want to do, and we're gonna do it in high definition. That was another thing. Is like watching all the shit in high definition. I felt was also just surreal a bit, where you're like, "This."
Don't you think there should have been more cell phone cameras from people? I thought that was kind of weird.
I've seen enough. Like I've seen a bunch of cell phone cameras. But
I've
actually,
seen
you know what?
maybe 5 different ones. I think
Yeah.
I'm surprised I don't see.
That's
When I go
true.
to Trump rallies, everybody has their phone out.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. All right, I'm going to open the phone lines, 1-888-949-2969. We have the lovely Mark answering the phones. He will put you in the queue, so just wait patiently, and we're going to get to you. So you're going to the RNC tomorrow. I imagine, like, again, I was like, yeah, I imagine, security is going to be heightened, but it's always max. Like, it's maxed out. Like I know, like Ryan tried to go to the Bronx Trump rally after because he had his trial, so he had to do the one in the Bronx. He's like, you can't even get within 50 feet of the entrance. Like,
did Ryan get it? Either of y'all get? Yeah, he got.
I wasn't
content
there.
outside.
He tried to go.
Content. I didn't. I see one of his videos outside of the Trump trial.
He was not the Trump trial. This was the rally in the Bronx that he did at that park. But he got. Like, because you have to go through metal detectors. And again, I'm not saying this kid evaded metal detectors, but like if you just put the odds of some kid doing this and then being successful, you'd put it at like a 1 in a million or something, that all these things happen, that not only did he get a gun and get on the roof and he got, 6 shots off, 8 shots?
Yeah. And he did kill somebody. Somebody did die.
He killed somebody, so he shot somebody. I mean, he shot the fucking president-elect, former president of the United States, who, if his head didn't just, like, move, a quarter of an inch or whatever, like, he would have shot him in the head. And then what would that have been like?
I don't know how Trump's taking it so well. I mean, I know he just has to be tough. I guess he just knows that he's blessed. He's anointed. I said that on Sky News. I don't know if they even like that. I was like, I think he's like Neo. He dodges bullets. He's anointed by God. And like, I say that kind of sarcastically, but I also kind of mean it.
I mean, fuck, man. I'm not a particularly religious person or at all.
I know, but there's something about it. I don't know how. I mean, dude, I don't know. I'm not calling him Jesus or anything like that, but dude, he has good luck. I mean,
like
something.
you would think the guy.
So I feel like he has a little divine intervention with that. I mean, gosh, I don't know.
Mean, I don't disagree. You would think like if a guy shot Trump like a sniper, he'd be in like a ghillie suit up in a tree.
Yeah,
Not
like,
just,
like
you know what I mean? It's so incomprehensible. And there were apparently people inside the building. There was like officers in the building, and they're like, there's one rooftop to secure, and that's just like happens to be the one rooftop they just neglect. That's 150 yards or feet away.
and it's the only other like angle to the.
It was the only angle. It was the only possible angle. And then
why wasn't there one of our snipers on that roof? Like,
that's what I'm saying. Like you would think that this would be such. And what are they going to be like? Oh, we're just bumbling idiots. You're the Secret Service. Like my friend, he was like in the bomb squad. He worked at Trump Tower, and he's like, they don't fuck around. Like he's like, if you ever tried to bring like a gift into Trump Tower, like for Donald Trump, he's like, we're X-raying it, like we're testing it for all sorts. Like it's you don't just they're not napping, and then they just happen to be this one time. It's hard to believe. All right, let's take a call. We have a lot of callers right now. 1 second. I think we got. Let's see how this works here. One moment, please.
Some guy in the chat keeps on telling me to take off my shirt. Dude, Zooksy, I'm not taking
You tried
off
to get me
my
to take
shirt.
off my pants on your show.
Well, I do. Well, I would take off my shirt eventually, but the way he's saying it, I don't mind saying it. You can say it once or twice, but he's saying it so much, I'm about to time you out.
Time him out.
About to time his ass out.
You might have
I'm
to
not
time us
afraid to
out.
time people out.
Hold on.
Dude,
Guys,
what
so
am I
I'm
gonna
going to
do
ask...
at the RNC. People need to give me ideas of what I can do and some questions to ask. It's just so stale, Trump or Biden. I need to, I can ask him something weird or nonsensical. That's always kind of funny.
Okay. Oh, okay. We got a call here. Caller, who are we speaking with? You there?
Hey, Danny.
Hey, what's
Nico
up?
from Chicago.
Nico from Chicago. How's it going?
Yeah, how's it going, Alex?
What's up, Nico?
Hey, how's it going? So I think we're pushing past the just like the gravitas of what we're going through. A former president, somebody running for office got shot.
Yeah.
Like, we could work through all the conspiracies and stuff, but this is a huge moment in U.S. history that I think we're just sort of brushing off as something not to worry about.
I mean, we've been so desensitized by shit that it seems like less of a big deal than it should be. Like, it is a huge deal.
Yeah. Yeah. So I'm wondering how people should approach this going forward. Like, I don't want a revolution, obviously. Like, I don't want a bloody warfare type of thing, but everything that's going on right now, it seems like something is eventually going to happen. And I don't know.
I mean, if they manage to successfully, I mean, I was listening to Alex Jones today on Tim Dillon's podcast, and Alex Jones is like basically saying there's going to be truck bombs, and they're going to be targeting like the black community to essentially like blame MAGA Republicans for like basically like incite a race war essentially to further go after Trump. But like if Trump dies at all under any sort of mysterious circumstances, it is going to be the most plain as day thing. Like that, they have one plausible deniability right now where they can say, hey, this was a major fuck up or whatever, but you don't get two. Certainly a second one. Like there's never been a president shot twice or like whatever, 2 assassination attempts as far as I know.
There probably has.
Like the same president and like the same time period? Maybe. I don't know.
I don't know. I need to look it up. There's probably been presidents that have been assassinated multiple times.
I mean, there was, what was it? There was Wallace who was running for president. He was shot 5 times, became a paraplegic or whatever. There was Reagan. I think Reagan was 1 time. And then there was Kennedy. There was obviously Lincoln.
Multiple times.
And Garfield.
Where's it? Where are you calling from, Nico?
Chicago.
Oh, it's messed up in Chicago, isn't it?
Yeah. So what's your take on this, Nico? Is this some sort of deep state conspiracy? Is there any chance this is just some guy doing this?
No, I think it's most likely than not some guy, but I think there's some deep state sort of actor behind letting it happen. There's no way that somebody got up on the roof and shot at Donald Trump and nobody responded.
Well, they did respond,
but like certainly you have to, like I personally cannot believe that the Secret Service could have known about this and allowed it to happen. That's like their main job. That is like the one thing that they do. Their whole thing is like they take a bullet for the president. So to say that like this country's so corrupt and just, so past the point of whatever that even like the Secret Service, any Secret Service member was somehow complicit in this seems so unbelievable to me.
But it sounds like people stood down. They didn't do anything for a while. I mean, there were so many reports of this guy on the roof before shots were taken.
Yeah.
That something should have been done. Like, it's total incompetence. Like, I'm not saying that it's a deep state sort of ploy but it seems like total incompetence by people on the very, very top.
I mean, the incompetence thing is the only acceptable explanation, but you're like, this is too incompetent. This isn't, this is past just kind of garden variety incompetence. This is so next level in terms of incompetence that is just, like, again, it's the Secret Service. They're not meant to be incompetent. Like, they're meant, like, the whole point is that they're the most competent. And now some people are like, oh, whatever, the DEI stuff. But, like, those chicks would have never stopped. Like, there was snipers on the roofs who were, like, looking at this guy for several minutes. And then and again, there's so much conflicting stuff. I'm sure there's a lot of stuff that's not true that's coming out that will come out. And I'm sure there'll be hearings and whatnot.
I agree. I agree completely. But at the end of the day, it's at the very, very top where these things come down, where something happened where it was completely wrong. Like, I'm not, having a woman on the roof. Like, having a woman, I don't care about that kind of DEI. It doesn't matter.
Yeah.
Something happened where the people on the ground, the citizens, knew something before Secret Service, and that's a fucking problem.
And they were yelling about it for some period of time. They were like making a whole scene out of it, and even still, they still got that. And again, I also think to the fact you're like, well, if they're gonna if they were willing to go to this level to put someone in there, kill them, like, why not get someone who's for sure gonna get the job done? Like, obviously, it was someone.
He almost got it done.
He did almost get it done, but I'm sure there are people who are like from 100, I think it was 150 feet. It could be yards, but I think it was 150 feet.
Yeah,
but
like, the target is moving. That makes
the target is moving. I understand that. But he was pretty fixed. I mean, he's at a podium. Like, he didn't, like, it's not like some movie where he, accidentally, he's like, oh, my shoe's untied, like a comedy movie or something. Like, he just moved his head like this. Like, he just went like this.
At first I was like, why didn't he shoot him in the body? Like, I know you want to take the headshot or whatever, but if the body, you would have thought he's just an older man. It would have, his heart probably couldn't withstand a bullet wound.
Like, why not a higher power rifle? Like,
Well, I don't see. Have they even said what kind of rifle it was? But
I think it was an AR-15. I think it was an AR-15. Yeah, I believe he did have a bulletproof vest, actually, from what I understand.
That doesn't seem like that accurate. I mean, you're right. I mean, I don't know. I don't know.
It's
maybe about that gun. It's easier to
want
carry.
Me to
I don't know.
Can I give my conspiracy?
Yeah, let's hear your theory.
Yeah, so they let this guy do it just like every other shooter. They let go and do it. They don't stop him. They let it happen, and usually they're pretty dumb. They're not good marksmen. They're,
I mean, don't you besmirch Lee Harvey Oswald like this? Although assuming that he was even the shooter. Very, very unlikely that I guess he even was the shooter. But, I mean, whoever was the shooter with JFK was not a bad marksman. Like, they got it done, so. And that was a moving target with JFK. JFK was in a fucking car. In a moving car.
Exactly. Trump moved like 3 inches, and they barely missed him. I mean, I don't want to...
Like, you know how crazy that would be if you could just go on the internet right now and just watch a video of Trump's just getting JFK'd in high definition?
That'd be very sad.
It would be insane. It would be like truly surreal.
Very demoralizing, which is what they want.
Yeah, I agree on that.
I watched it live. It was insane.
Yeah, I mean, if I was watching that live, I would be like, what? That would be, you would think it's like, no, this must be some sort of misunderstanding. Like someone let off some firecrackers or something. You probably couldn't even get firecrackers onto those grounds. Like, those probably wouldn't even make it through. Like some of those
Nico,
dumbass.
Did your friends ever call you Freako, Nico? Because you're so freaky deaky?
Be honest.
I don't have any friends.
But has anybody ever called you Freako, Nico?
No, but I'm sure some of the girls did.
Yeah,
they're on my back.
That's what I'm saying. If I were you, I'd go by Freako Nico for sure.
All right, Nico, I got to let you go. Thanks, man. All right, we're just gonna go through these calls because there are a lot of callers. Please stay on the line if you want to get through. I will get to you. So just please be patient. We will get to you in the order which you called. All right, we got a call. Who are we speaking with?
Yo, what's up? How's everybody doing today?
Good. Who are we speaking with?
My name's Joe Smith. I'm out of
Joe
Pennsylvania.
Smith from Pennsylvania.
There you go.
Okay.
All right.
All right. So we got some
absolutely.
local takes on the matter here. What are your thoughts on all this?
Well, I'm kind of far away though. I'm in South Central. That's
Okay.
like a northwestern area, so not too familiar with the area. I had to look up the high school to see exactly where it came from. I don't know. White kid school. What can you do?
Sure.
I don't know. I think it is inside job a little bit.
And now, when we say inside job, are we implicating in any way like Joe Biden specifically?
I think there was somebody there that knew exactly what was going on. They were talking about on the Tim Pool show today on
What were they
how
saying on
he had to
Tim's
come
show?
out today and brought up the Joe Biden. They thought that was going to be
Because he said
the,
bullseye. Because he said
like-
put a bullseye or whatever on him.
right, but he also did a speech as well, and they thought it was going to be, hey, he's over, leave, let's come together now. He's gone, let's move on.
What would be worse, the pandemic or presidential assassination?
Presidential assassination. I mean, obviously, more people are personally affected by the pandemic.
I don't know. I think hell would have broken loose.
Like, who would have
Oh,
been the
hell
new
would've.
who would have been the
Something
new
more
candidate?
major would happen.
You know, who would have been the new
hell would've
candidate?
broken loose.
I have
They
no
would have
freaking idea. It would have been JD Vance. I'll tell you that. I have
Yeah,
no
like-
fucking idea. That's
right?
the
Like,
scary
who would-
part.
What do
And
you
the
guys think
thing
about
is-
JD Vance, real quick? We want to talk about this. I mean,
Sure.
I support Trump, but JD Vance was trashing him not that long ago. I mean, and you can have a change of opinion. I
But
actually do believe
politics
in that.
Political
is-
thing, though. It's a political thing. I mean, he has to grab people from his other side, so
Yeah.
they know there's a way out. So it's a scary choice. At this
I wanted
point,
him
right?
to pick General Flynn. That's why I'm upset.
I mean, I saw Mike Cernovich post basically saying that it had to be someone like JD Vance because you have to basically
Everybody
make.
would have effect.
Well, you have to make it
everyone.
now where if they do kill him, they're like, it's almost like here's a worse option. Essentially, like that was the premise, where it's like a worse option in the sense like this guy's going to be even more radical if JD Vance was the president.
Right. Yeah,
Like-
I guess that's what
So
they
now
did to Pence
JD
the
Vance
first
is about to
time.
become one of the most
Sure.
powerful people in the world, and at 39 years old or 40 years old. And that's
Sure.
pretty insane.
Yeah, that's
That's
fine.
impressive. And why not? Why
I
not?
mean, he'll be as powerful as Kamala Harris currently is, which I guess
It's
she's
pretty powerful, dude.
No, I
Pretty-
think
I mean, it's
he'll
pretty
be
big deal
more
to be the
important
vice
in the next
president.
couple years.
Yeah,
Like now he has to run for president.
that's true. That's true. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, yeah, it's
He
this
went to
one's-
Yale Law School, Skull and Bones.
Yeah, well, he's a big tech guy too. I think
Yeah.
a lot of the tech people I know.
He named his son
come across.
Vivek because he's such good friends with Vivek Ramaswamy.
It's named after Vivek Ramaswamy.
They all went to law school with
Yeah, I saw that
JD
with his
Vance's
wife. Interesting.
It's crazy.
That's kind of crazy, isn't it? That they're so close. The two people that were in line for the vice presidency went to the same law school at the same time.
I mean, there's only
And we're so
three-
connected, though, that he named his kid after him. I
Yeah,
mean, that
yeah,
is.
that is crazy.
is-
But again, these people generally, the politics types they're all kind of somewhat friendly. I don't think.
Networked. They're all
like, I don't-
networked. Yeah.
you know, I don't-
They've
The
known
world
each
is
other
smaller
since they were
than it
kids,
seems.
fourth grade and shit. They've
Yeah,
all known
like
each other.
yeah, I don't think you get a lot of people in.
They went to the same
in-
boarding schools. They went off vacationing to the same places. They
They're
all
in the
know
same
each other.
secret society. They go to the same private island. You know.
That's right.
Yeah,
Oh,
you know,
yeah,
stuff
that's
like
right.
that.
They're choked up by their father while they masturbated. Yeah.
No. Not say that
Um,
about Mr. Ramaswamy. He would never do that to Vivek.
No.
I don't know.
Um,
man. Don't put it past anyone. Power is fucking disgusting.
Caller, do you think they're going to take another crack at Trump?
Oh, I got a $20 super chat.
I
from
hope
Bad Buddhist.
not.
Thank you,
What
Bad Buddhist.
Alex Jones said today was fucked up when he was talking about how they're trying to fucking nuke everybody at once. That was fucking
Yeah.
that's terrifying.
I
That
know.
dude's like 5 steps ahead. What's going
Yeah,
on?
Alex Jones is basically
Like,
saying it's.
I'm not really freaking out. I'm hoping he's just trying to put some fucking thoughts in people's heads. But
I mean,
still,
Alex Jones was straight up saying like, "I've already come to terms with the fact that I'm gonna die."
oh,
Essentially,
yeah.
Well, we're all gonna die.
like,
And
lol,
he's-
but he means sooner than
Like
later,
under the.
due to the.
And he ain't slowing down, and they all want him to. And I'm sure Alex knows better. He's getting pushed to a freaking wall. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's scary for him. I listened to him for a long time. I'm a big fan of all of yours too, and
Cool.
Ryan Long.
Thanks, man. All right, thanks,
Yeah.
man. All right,
Thank you.
we're gonna take another caller. Who we got next here? Oh man, we got so many calls. Okay, hold on. Here we go. We got, I believe, Miles coming up. Miles, are you there?
Yo, what's up, Danny?
Hey, how's it going?
Good. How you doing, man? Big
Very
fan.
well. Thank
Alex,
you.
big fan.
Thank you. I appreciate that,
so-
Miles.
Let's get your
Did
thoughts.
you guys happen to notice? Did you guys happen to notice the guy sitting directly over the Donald's right shoulder? Guy in the hat and the jacket.
I did. I saw some stuff about him. Like I saw some posts related to him. Tell us about him.
What did you see? Because his name's Vincent Fusco, and I fully believe names have like etymologies and meanings behind them for a reason. Vincent Fusca, that translates roughly from Latin as they have overcome darkness.
Really?
And I mean, I can break that down if you want.
Sure. Go ahead.
All right, you know the famous saying, "Veni, Vidi, Vici."
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, I came, I saw, I conquered. All right, Vici is the first singular conjugation of, I believe it's vincere, which is to overcome. Vincent, therefore, with ENT, is the second person plural, or the third person plural. So if it was singular, it'd be he, she, it. Because it's plural, it's they. Fusca is roughly coming from, I believe, Fuscus, Fusca, Fuscum, and that translates to, I think, dark or swarthy. So when you put that together, that kind of comes out to they have overcome darkness.
Okay. And what does that mean to you?
Oh, what does that mean to me? All right, I'm one of those special people who believe white hats are in control.
Okay.
Because, I mean, that guy pops up everywhere for no reason at all. And if you watch during the video on Saturday, he doesn't flinch.
He doesn't flinch. I
He
know.
just reacts. He just watches.
Yeah.
Like, what's
Yeah.
up with that?
I mean, it is quite strange if you think
He's,
shots
he's
are ringing
watching.
out.
Shots are ringing out. He's watching. Everyone else ducked and covers. He's just fucking standing there.
Well, not that one
Like-
lady with the phone.
The one lady with her phone pulled it out.
Yeah.
But
calm.
he's standing there. Don looks back at him almost. He seems to cup his hand to his mouth and yell something to him. That's when Don turns around and starts yelling, "Fight!" So,
Yeah.
who is it? I really don't know.
I mean,
I got some ideas.
again,
I've got
we
a
have
picture with him. I've met him, but you know,
Yeah.
if you want to go into the etymology behind Donald and Trump, that's where it gets weird.
Why is that?
Yeah. What's the etymology? What the heck does that mean?
The etymology behind the words Donald and Trump, I believe Donald means king of kings or like a great ruler.
Okay.
And this is all coming back from like the original like historical meaning behind the word. So when you have Donald and Trump, that come out to great ruler or overthrower of great rulers.
Yeah. Yeah.
And this is something I've been thinking about for a while. I mean, like, remember Gabby Petito and Brian Laundrie?
Yep.
Yeah.
Gabby Petito is another way of saying small talk.
Smallpox?
So that's to gab is to talk, right?
Oh, small
Petito
talk.
is a
Small talks.
that's a small talk. Brian Laundrie is another way of saying brain laundry or brainwash. It's all fucking weird, man.
All right.
I kind of like the Brian Laundrie brainwash.
Yeah,
I'll take that one.
I mean, chicks love small talk, that's for sure.
But Gabby Petito, what does Petito mean? Petito means to
small.
Petito being a being a variation of petite.
So small. I know petite.
Yeah.
I mean, I guess it's kind of funny. I mean, Petito. Yeah, I mean, I guess. Petito, Gab.
Danny, I'll start putting together my giant master list of all this stuff.
Yeah, appreciate it.
Yeah.
All right, thanks, caller.
That's it.
Oh, well. All right, we have so many calls, so we're gonna bang.
No, we
these
do
out.
not have that many calls, dude.
We got a lot of calls, pal. Producer Mark is like, fucking giving me one of these right here. He goes.
So you can see him. See, I can't see Mark.
No, we just have the participants in the Zoom. Goob.
What's up, Mr. Magic? Mr. Stein, big fans of both you guys.
Thank you.
How you doing?
Good, how are you?
So I kind of had the same point the first caller had, which is like everyone I've interacted with has been completely apathetic about this event.
It's insane.
And this is a massive thing that just happened, and no one cares or is even talking about it. Like, I don't understand what's happening.
I tweeted about it. I was sitting on a patio in Hoboken, New Jersey. I get my dad texted her, and he's like, Trump's been shot. I look inside this like sports bar. They just have like WNBA games on.
That's exactly what happened in Tampa where I was, and I asked people on the street. Nobody gave a damn.
No, and then they're like, and then they put one of the TVs got put on news, and the rest were just like showing fucking sports, baseball, WNBA shit. Like, you know, you'd think like the world would stop or something, but we've become so conditioned. Like, I think so many people expected this to happen that they're like, yeah, I mean, I guess.
But like, do you think the reaction would be the same if it had happened to Biden?
No,
there would be no reaction.
I mean,
People
no.
would be
Well,
sad
there's.
if it happened to Biden.
It's very strange how there's no
sad
reaction for Trump
It would be
getting shot.
It would be way more out of, I guess, left field for it to happen to Biden because he's less of a guy.
Right, because he's about to die anyways.
I guess people wouldn't really like expect that. And then the way that the news cycle would spin it is they would be very much like playing the blame game. Whereas, because like I was watching CNN that night and they're trying to be like, this rhetoric has gotten out. Like, yeah, from you guys. Like, you guys did this.
Said loud noises.
Yeah, but you're like and they're trying to be like, well, like even the name of the shooter is and because some people were trying to defend the news being like, well, they're journalists. Like they wait till they have the story straight. I was reading on Twitter this guy's name for 2 hours before CNN was like, we have the name. We've confirmed it. And you're like, you didn't confirm shit. Like you just are finally everybody's saying this is the guy's name. So now you're like, okay, I guess this is the guy's name.
Yeah, I mean, everyone's corrupt. And Danny, you were saying you couldn't believe the Secret Service could be corrupt. And I mean, I don't know how many of them are, but it's pretty obvious some of them are. This was very clearly an inside job. Like there was clearly shenanigans going on.
Sure, but like you have to think they would all have to be because their whole deal is like they're, if you ever see them, they're looking constantly around.
It could be.
They're not sitting around just like, watching Trump talk. He's the last guy they're looking at.
It could be they were all in on it.
That seems so. I mean, this country is fucked if that's what happened. Where the whole totality of every Secret Service agent was like, "Hey, just so you know, kind of
trying to explain what happened as incompetence is impossible. There were people on the ground shouting for minutes.
I agree.
You know, no one tried to get Trump off the stage. Like, literally everything about it was wrong. It can't be ascribed to incompetence. So someone was involved in it. And if you're saying, well, they all had to be involved in it then, well, then, I mean, I guess that's the case because all the other options are impossible.
Which, again, that just
This wasn't
seems so
incompetent.
impossible to believe that they were, you know, these guys are like, you know, real patriots.
I hear you, but the world's been going crazy. We've been seeing how much stuff they've gotten away with, you know, for the last several years,
Sure.
right in front of our faces. Everyone's been witnessing it, you know, and it seems impossible every step of the way, but they just keep doing it. And they did it again.
Yeah.
I mean,
you have some points.
if that's the case, then what does Trump have to do? Does he have
And
to
look
go
at how little reaction
private
they
security?
got to it. Like, that's the point that they're at and that we're at, that like they just did this so blatantly right in front of our faces, and there's been zero reaction to it.
Yeah.
And that's
I mean,
how bold they can be.
Yeah. I mean, it's not like, I can tell you, it's not something where, you know, they say talking at the water cooler, which is probably a bit of an outdated thing, but it's not the thing that just like everyone's talking about, like how 9/11 would have been, where, you know, that is the one thing. And I mean, obviously we're talking about it now, but I'm just saying more anecdotally, like if you walk around, like people are just going about their lives. Like this was not, and maybe it would have been much different had he been killed. I don't know, but it came close enough where people should be like, what is going on? Twitter's like that.
Well, you said it wasn't like a movie, and it kind of is, because if he didn't
like a
turn his
movie.
head at that exact moment, like he would have been shot
It
in the
looked like
brain.
a movie. It was so crazy. The Secret Service, the people there, it looked like a movie set. It looked, you know, I'm not saying it was that, but it just did look like, I'm like, what? And then that
Yeah.
weird guy.
And when you factor the assassination on top of what they've been trying to do to him, you know, for the last couple of years. I know they threw out his documents thing today, although that can be, I guess, appealed. But his like illegal handling of documents case got dismissed, I guess, today. But even still, like, it just, you know, when you add it all up, you're like, certainly this doesn't seem like a one-off thing. You're like, yeah, they've tried every other thing, failed. So now they go to, which is like, you know, Andrew Tate said this, like lots of people said, it's like, yeah, this is the last thing they go for when they are unsuccessful everywhere else. And then they failed at this.
Tate, dude, why do
I'm
you
a top
always,
G, baby.
Why do you always reference Andrew Tate? You reference him more than anybody I know, Denny.
That's not true.
That is true. In text messages, see, I'm always like, and you're like, dude, Andrew, you do love you.
I call
always
myself
put it-
I call myself the top D.
Dude, you call yourself the Andrew Tate of the New York comedy scene. You do call yourself that, honestly.
This is false.
Why
and
are you
misleading.
being so shy about this? You're the one that's quoting Andrew Tate. You can't admit that you have Andrew Tate vibes.
I have Andrew Tate vibes.
Sex trafficking vibes.
Sex trafficking vibes. I'm gonna sue you, Alex Stein. No. Yeah, I don't know. It's pretty crazy. I'm still curious what other people's theories are on this, if there are any kind of like out the box ones we haven't heard, because
Alex Jones is probably right that they're going to try again.
Like if they try, then you're like, what the fuck is the Secret Service doing? Like that would be, and then again, how is any president supposed to feel comfortable in the Secret Service unless it's kind of this thing where they go, yeah, just like fall in line as the president.
All the other
we'll take care of
presidents
you.
are the uniparty.
Exactly. So like, hey, just
they don't have to.
Yeah,
just don't step out of line.
Don't step out of line. Don't ruffle any feathers. We'll make sure you get your library at the end of this term, kind of deal. I don't know. All right, Goob, I gotta let you go. Thanks, man.
See you, Goob.
All right.
Goob, everybody. Okay, we're just gonna bang these out. We got international caller. From what country, I don't know, but there's a plus sign in front of it, so you know that's fancy. Caller, are you there?
Yes. Can you hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you. Who are we speaking with?
All right, Jen. And I can start off by saying that I'm not exactly a fan of either of you.
Okay.
Okay, that's not good.
Well, first of all, have you guys read Project 2025?
I've read it
yeah.
front to back. I read everything about
And
it.
what it says about trans healthcare and stuff like that.
No, I
Yeah,
can't
they're
say
gonna
I'm
limit
that.
It. They're going to limit it for children.
Yeah. Okay.
Right. Well, so a lot of trans people commit suicide every year, and
Yes.
so if Trump became president, a lot of lives would end. So due to
You think
policy.
Sorry. I have a
me just
question.
say this.
Because from what
Transgender
I
pe-
understand, Project 2025, and I could be wrong, caller, is they're kind of like a fringe group that just says this is what we would like to have happen, but there's no indication that.
No, it's what Trump is going to do when he becomes president. Like everyone is saying.
But aren't they
on
saying
TikTok
like
and
he's going to
everything.
turn
So
into like a Christian nationalist country, and
which is not going to happen.
which is not going to happen. Like, and he's going to hold on. Let me just see what
Trump's not going to go.
Here's the thing.
I
When
don't
all the
know
Project
about that.
2025 stuff like a week ago came up, I went and looked at it and I basically read it for 2 minutes. I go, no fucking chance this is going to happen. And I just stopped reading it. Like once I started reading, I go, there's no way this is going to happen.
That's just probably meant to be disinformation to scare people and make Trump look bad. Or maybe it is real, but it's not what's going to happen. I mean, I don't know what to tell you, but
I assume that it is real. And so, given that I think a lot of trans
and you're
trans
mad
lives
that
are going to.
transgender people are going to get less surgery, and you think that will make their rate of death higher?
Yeah, they will lead to a lot of suicides. So if we assume that all lives are equal, then I think killing Trump is a good deed.
No, you did not say
Because
that.
it will lead to less lives being killed overall.
Oh, dude.
So you were, and so you think this person who did this was basically part of the LGBTQ community in some capacity and was
Dude,
doing
you're
this.
sick, dude. You're sick. Where are you? What country are
I
you
don't know.
in? You're
I
not
mean, look,
American.
Sweden.
He's in Sweden.
That's what I'm saying. That's why you don't like it. Dude, God bless the United States of America. How dare you say that?
Yeah, I mean, again, this is open lines
What are
call
you
and
doing
show.
in Sweden listening to our asses anyway? Go to bed. What time is it in Sweden right now?
It's well, look, listen. Can I say something? It's 4 a.m. here. The thing is, I struggle to sleep.
Yeah, you
one thing
struggle
that
to
helps
sleep
me
because you're
sleep
whacked
is
out, dude. You're worried about transgenders killing themselves. You need to get your life a
can I say
little
something?
more dialed
One
in.
thing.
Yeah, go ahead, caller.
One thing that helps me sleep is jerking off, and I like to jerk off to AOC because you know what I'm talking about, Alex. You know what I'm talking about.
She's got that big booty.
I don't think you can say that on
He
YouTube.
does.
I don't. You know
He does
what?
have a big booty.
I don't know if he is. Are you a member of the LGBTQ? He doesn't sound like a troll to me. I don't.
No, I'm just fucking with you guys. I'm a troll.
Oh, you're a troll. Oh, okay.
Sorry.
All right. Well then.
Well,
good stuff.
All right.
Bye.
okay. Bye.
All right. I thought he was real. I don't know.
I told you he was a troll. See that?
All right. Okay. Fucking Swedish people. Actually, was in Stockholm. It's a very nice city. All right.
He's probably using a call spoofing thing to spoof his number.
No, he's had a little Swedish accent. The worst part is that I get charged
knows?
so much. I get charged so much more for these overseas calls.
They charge you like per minute. On
Oh
those?
yeah, they really ding me bad for those. Hello.
Hey, Danny, what's happening?
Hey, what's up?
Hey, what's up, Alex? How you doing? Charlie
yo,
from Florida. What's happening? Yeah, I don't know. Wild times, man. It's crazy out there.
So, what are your thoughts here?
I hope that guy can jerk off and get to sleep. The guy before me.
Oh my gosh!
I mean, it's a time tested strategy.
What are you calling from Florida? What's your major malfunction, dude? You're calling. What's so crazy in your life, dude? Why is everything crazy other than the president getting assassinated? What's the craziest thing going on in your life?
No. I just heard the call before me. I was just commenting on that. That's all. No, what I was saying is, I think that I do believe that President Trump is like definitely anointed by God. Like a lot of people get weird when you say that. They think like you're saying like you think Trump is Jesus. That's not what I think.
Yeah,
that means.
neither.
I think God is just. I think that he's protecting, and he definitely protected him. I believe that. I think that it's just totally such a crazy. It's just such a crazy thing to see something like that like unfold live like that.
Were you watching it live?
Yeah.
I was watching it live, and like it was crazy because like it's just something that you think it's always like a possibility, but not something that you're ever gonna see. You know?
Sure.
It's just wild.
Sure.
And like you hear.
I mean, we've never seen it in. Like even Shinzo Abe or whatever, like it was a cell phone camera from far away. Like, you never really see this stuff in that kind of perfect. Those would be Trump's words. It was a perfect press conference, and he's just like the single shot right in full frame is crazy.
He's like Neo, dude.
It's crazy. And the funniest part is that he went to point at a chart of illegal immigration, and that was what saved him.
Yeah, and he's such a tough guy, man, to put up with the stuff that, just to even deal with the stuff that he's dealt with for like 8 years, just like hearing all the stuff said about him and his family and this and that, and just the constant attacks and this and that. And then
prosecutions.
You know why he's strong? Because he eats Big Macs all the time. He eats all that McDonald's. He's just
it's that beef, man.
He's built on microplastics and kick ass, and he's just tough. Dude. He's just on. Like that's the thing is that's how that stuff works. That's how drugs work, like cocaine and heroin. It's like once you get off the heroin, you die, right? Like once you get off the coke, like that's when you come down. You like want to hurt yourself. If you just stay on the Big Macs forever, it actually does keep you alive because they put chemicals in it because they want you to keep eating there. It's once you stop eating there after a long time is when you're screwed with McDonald's.
Yeah. So don't stop eating.
Yeah, well, I hope it works.
Don't stop eating it is what I'm saying. The McDonald's the corporation would like you to know don't stop eating it or else.
That's definitely not going to happen. Yeah. I'm like
the cancer it causes, it has stuff in it that cancels it out. But if you stop eating it, you're not getting the stuff that cancels out the cancer. So
interesting.
Very smart system by the way.
So do you have any thoughts on what's going to happen between now and November 5th? What do we got? 112 days, 110 days, something like that?
It's like I was talking with my sister about it. Like it's like we're just scared because it's like, I listened to the thing. We listened to like the 5-minute like Alex Jones thing. Like the day that happened, he was like he said something where he was just like talking about how there's going to be all these different things that happen. There's going to be these blackouts. There's going to be people messing with like grids, like different false flags, all these kinds of things. And they're going to try to blame. He thinks they're going to try to blame Trump supporters, obviously, for a bunch of things and all this kind of stuff. And it's frightening. I mean, you see all these things happening and they just, like you said before, like blatantly happening. It just makes you think like it's just a very unsettling feeling. Like in the future, you just don't know what's going to, even COVID. I mean, like it's so, I know this has been talked to death, but people, obviously, a lot of people believe that some aspect of COVID was intentional.
Sure.
I don't know what you think about that. I mean, I don't know. I don't know either. I mean, I'm just saying, like, that's what some people seem to believe.
I mean, for sure.
A lot of it.
Yeah. I mean,
a lot of it was politically motivated or whatever. And like, I mean, is it going to be another one of those? Is it going to be like a biological thing? Is it going to be a war or a civil war or whatever? I hope it's not. I think more people seem to be like, maybe more people are waking up. I don't know if they're,
I mean, this woke up a lot of people, like to see the amount of public figures, like athletes and stuff, who went and kind of supported Trump, whereas that would have been kind of that would have caused you a lot of problems in your life to do that.
Yeah.
Even a year, maybe a week ago.
Yeah. Well, it's just funny. You hear everybody like, of course, they say the word rhetoric like all the time. It's always this big thing about like, it's almost like they're trying to say that like the way Trump talked or how he talked, some people were like that. That's what was causing this environment of. It's just like, well, what is the other side doing? All they're doing is calling him a Nazi for 8 years, and
for sure. I mean, the end of democracy. And again, they kind of like if you look back at 2015, they didn't actually go that hard on him because they never thought he would be the president. So they actually it was fairly cordial. It wasn't until he became the president, and then that's when they really cranked it up at that point. And then he's like, "You guys," and he starts calling them fake news. And again, he starts calling all these places fake news. He's literally threatening their livelihoods at this point. So then they're gonna just even, you know, triple their efforts to take him down, I guess. So
I'm kind of like you though about like, but I don't know. Like I understand the possibility that that things could be certain things could be inside like that, but how deep does that go? What exactly does that mean? Does that mean that like all the Secret Service would be involved, or
that seems like from my friend who's in the Secret Service.
It's compartmentalized.
Yeah, that just seems so.
Yeah.
Like you just need so many things to go wrong, or go right.
In the Secret Service, you don't even know like what other detail duties and stuff that other units are doing. So the whole thing.
Sure, but everybody's looking. The thing is like I don't know how many Secret Service agents there were, but their whole thing is they're just now maybe they were like we were looking at the crowd, but that crowd all went through metal detectors. Now again, someone could like my first thought was like, oh, someone snuck like a plastic ghost gun in, but you're probably all getting patted. Like I get patted down to go into like Madison Square Garden. You know,
for like example, like when I like my feeling about just quickly my think on 9/11. Like I was in high school, like, and I was in Vero Beach. Like in the flight school in Vero Beach, we found out that some of the guys apparently involved in it had been training at the flight school, and they said they come out with this report that says that they told their flight teachers that they didn't want to learn how to land.
That's what they said. That got released. I believe that they said that. Supposedly Muhammad Atta and those guys that were training there, they were using cocaine too in Vero Beach.
Yeah, they were. I did a comedy show at this the Fairfield Inn recently in Fairfield, Connecticut, and that hotel used to be called something else. And the night before 9/11, 2 of the hijackers stayed there, and the people at the hotel, and the people at the it's called the Fairfield Inn now. And
Fairfield Inn's a hotel brand that's pretty big, or is
no, this is I don't think it's not a brand. It's like a one-off. Like some people bought this hotel. It's like kind of almost like a motel. It's in Fairfield, Connecticut. And Mark was there. Mark, the producer, was there. But they specifically were like,
didn't they fly out of Boston though? So they drove from Fairfield, Connecticut.
Well, no. Well, I don't know where they flew out of, but specifically, like they were like they're like, can you make a promo video for the show? And I made one promo video with the 9/11, like a joke about the 9/11 stuff, and they like didn't use it. And then the guy was like, don't like just they have one request. Do not mention the 9/11 stuff because they spent millions to renovate it. They changed the name.
Wow,
it's like hard to find. It's hard to find.
They should have leaned into it. They would have gotten more business if they called themselves the 9/11 Towers or whatever. And then they had a room with that. They said, oh, they stayed in this room, and then just had a little like museum, just a glass door.
Yeah, but it's one of those. Yeah, like kind of like the Stephen Paddock's room or whatever.
Yeah, dude. That's the dumbest thing Mandalay Bay's ever done. That should be. They would actually probably go up in occupancy if they had
that room. Is like if you I saw somewhere online, but like that room, Stephen Paddock's room it's like the door's wallpapered over, so it just looks like the wall. But if you go up to it really close, you can see like, oh, there's actually a door behind here.
And that's all they did was just wall off. I didn't wall off the whole floor.
You can't think how much money that costs to be like, we don't have a floor available anymore. So, but that floor, if you go right up to it, it's literally wallpapered over, like, and it like fairly seamlessly. But like, if you're right there, you can kind of see, like, you go, oh, there was a door.
That's so crazy.
And I've been going to Vegas a lot more recently. There's something, and I know you could say there's weird vibes in all casinos. But Mandalay Bay just has a weird vibe. I've just walked in it twice in the past like 6 months, and even like without referencing the shooting, I don't know how to explain it. Just like the architecture, the ceiling height, there's just something weird about Mandalay Bay.
There's
for sure.
Probably fucking ghosts or some shit. All right, thanks, caller.
It's just weird vibes,
I gotta let you go. Thanks.
Oh, here, I want to call somebody. I want to call my buddy Jeran. I haven't talked to him yet. Jeran is a conspiracy expert, dude. He knows everything. So let me just call him.
If you want him to call in, we can kind of put him through.
You can here. I'm just gonna.
I can expedite him if you give him the. Okay.
We're not gonna talk that long. We'll just talk on the phone for a second. You can hear him this way. Oh shit, he's not gonna be able to hear you.
He won't be able to hear me. Have him call in.
Oh shit. Let me try this. Can you say something, Danny? Let's see if he can hear you. Danny, say something.
Can you hear me, Jeran?
Yeah, barely.
Okay.
He's a little quiet.
Okay.
Just tell him to call in.
I could give you the number to call in.
It's 1-888-949-2969.
Okay, I'm gonna text it to you because call in because I want to get your opinion on the Trump thing.
Okay, I'm gonna take a call first, and then he'll be the next one up.
All right, I'm gonna
just text him the number 1-888-949-2969. We got another caller here. One moment. All right, caller, you're on the air. Who are we speaking with?
Yeah, can you hear me?
Yep.
Yeah, I was curious if anybody's brought up the Peter Thiel angle on this whole thing.
Yeah, because JD Vance, he was his associate or whatever, right-hand man. What about that?
Yeah, what about it?
Well, JD Vance is like a total creation of Peter. I mean, Peter Thiel like made him.
Okay.
And Peter Thiel is also like heavily connected to Georgia. I don't know how you say her name, the Maloney.
In Italy?
Italian Prime Minister.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like if you like, it was shortly after she got elected. Like he did some like one of those uncommon knowledge things out there, which was sort of a tip of the hat to her. And then Peter Thiel is also heavily connected to Palantir, which is like deeply, deeply entrenched into like U.S. military intelligence.
Mm-hmm.
And so if you look at Peter Thiel's reluctance to endorse Trump in a full-throated way, I mean, he kind of held his nose and did it. And J.D. Vance and Trump have done events together, I think, like 2 years ago. But if you just look just a few weeks ago, I think that Thiel said that he would only vote for Trump if he had a gun to his head. I think that was literally like...
Yeah, I think that is weird. I think that's
he said that
he was
a few weeks ago?
Yeah. There was a quote. I think
no, he
was,
didn't say that. Vance didn't say that a few weeks ago.
No. Peter Thiel said that.
Vance didn't say that. Thiel said
Peter
that.
Thiel recently said that?
Yeah. Peter Thiel, I think I think it was in late June. It's like, I would only vote for Trump if I had a gun to my head, and I won't donate any money to his CPAC or to
his whatever political
like
action committee. Wait, did Peter Thiel come around though? Isn't he supporting him now? Last time I checked.
This is June 27th.
Vance,
yeah, June 27th.
He said this. He said this in June.
June 27th. Peter Thiel says, "If you hold a gun to my head, I'll vote for Trump."
Yeah, and so we have military intelligence. We have J.D. Vance, who is a creation of Peter Thiel. I mean, Peter Thiel made J.D. Vance. The only reason anybody knows who that guy is because of Thiel. And then we have this assassination attempt, and I don't know. It's kind of, you have to remember that Thiel is a very, very high-level operator. He's not just like a carnival barker like his old PayPal buddy Musk. Like, he single-handedly shut down Gawker using lawfare. He's a very slick guy. And I don't know. Maybe we're looking at this from the wrong angle. If you look at what Palantir does, analyzing data, using the military-industrial complex, could they have whipped up some weirdo loner into doing something like this? I don't know. But
I mean,
there's some
that
interesting
seems
constellations there.
Like, again, to me, it seems so difficult that you could just convince some kid to be like, hey, go do all this stuff. But then even if you say you convinced you were able as this private, and here's the thing, I actually know and am friendly with the founder of Palantir, and he's a pretty good guy. He's not like some fucking supervillain at all. Like, he's the opposite of that.
Do you
that's
see
how a
what
supervillain
Palantir does, though? I mean, just look at.
Well,
look what they're involved in. I mean, nobody's a bad guy. Nobody's a bad guy. I mean, we all know, like, oh, my buddy, fought overseas, But
Sure.
I mean, I don't know. Like, I'm not trying to say anything. I'm sure he's a good guy, but I'm just saying Palantir is a sinister organization. Like, I'm sorry, like. The things that they're involved in, like the data analysis, the prediction, it's very shadowy. What's her name? That one, Whitney Webb has done some great work on it. It's just, it makes one uncomfortable.
I will say, I don't know the ins and outs of their thing. All I understand is they make software to basically help the U.S. government. Now, obviously, I guess you could say the U.S. government.
The intelligence agency specifically.
The intelligence agency, certainly.
So I don't know. I just wanted to throw that out there. Peter Thiel is an extremely high-level operator. He has expressed his displeasure at Trump despite being a right-wing guy, sort of. I mean, he's sort of a bizarre character. He was able to
Aren't
shut down.
Aren't we all a little bizarre?
Oh God, I don't even. Yeah, I don't know. I'm just throwing it out there that I wouldn't put it past Steele, and seeing as how JD Vance arrived on the scene, the next day after Trump got shot, and JD Vance.
JD Vance has been, on the short list, and I will say, and I mentioned earlier on the show where this is from Mike Cernovich, but Mike Cernovich basically pointed out that he's a good insurance policy against a further assassination attempt, because now, you probably have a guy who you'd less like if you're quote unquote deep state, or if this is a Democratic issue where they're coming after him, you probably would want almost in some scenario JD Vance less. That's his opinion. So he's like, you know what? It's like, if you go kill me, then this is what you're gonna wind up with. Anyways, that's what he said. It seems like a good point. I don't honestly know enough about JD Vance. How like fundamentalist,
perhaps.
or
I mean, it's a good theory. I
are.
just think that he's there because of Thiel's influence and Thiel's money.
Sure,
that's why he's there. I don't think it's because of any other Republican.
Well, he was heavily endorsed by Trump, though. Like Trump.
Sure, yeah, no. They did a campaign thing together. I think like 2 years ago.
They probably paid him. Look at Trump with his bandage over his ear.
I was, what I said in one of my group chats? Trump is going to wear that Band-Aid until November 6th. You're not going to see him without it. He's going to, so everybody remembers, he's going to wear that shit. That is not.
He's pretty vain.
That ain't coming
might get,
off.
like, some kind of like.
I know, but for the political capital of just constantly having this fucking Band-Aid on his ear, so you just whenever he's talking, you never forget that Band-Aid is from failed assassination attempt. All right, thanks, caller. Gotta let you go. Appreciate it.
Thanks.
Did your friend call in there, Alex?
He's trying to.
I got a million people in the fucking queue here.
I texted Mark, and of course it's not going to work. Of course.
All right. Well, we're just gonna go through these. Hello. Thanks, call. You're on the Low Value Mail. Who am I speaking with?
What's up, guys? Jeran.
How's it going?
Jeran!
Oh, there you go.
Made it. Okay.
Oh.
What the heck?
What are the odds?
Jeran's an expert. Jeran's an expert conspiracy theorist. He's one of the smartest conspiracy theorists that I know. I haven't talked to Jeran about this, and he's usually the first guy I call. It did look like a movie, Jeran, did it not? What are the
Jared, what are your thoughts here?
Yeah, what are they? Not only what are your thoughts, but what are the people saying? Because Jeran and we know these people that think everything is fake, and they're right about some stuff. Don't get me wrong, some stuff is totally fake that they appear as real. But I bet that, are people going crazy in the conspiracy world? I haven't been looking at too many conspiracy videos about it, to be honest.
Of course, they are all saying it's fake, and I don't see it that way completely, but I do think there's a lot of problems with it. You saw that Secret Service. What do we have? What is that? A fat lesbian that's Secret Service can't holster a gun? First of all, nobody who's a Secret Service agent should ever lose to me in a race, and I'll beat that chick. That's just a problem. It's just like, what are we doing with this?
Yeah, but we all remember that CIA video or whatever, where they're like, we're bringing in all this diversity. They fell under the same pressures as every other Fortune 500 company. Where
they just put the worst. Right. They put the C team, the D team.
Well, the problem is like when you hire those people, you actually have to put them out. Otherwise, you got to be like, hey, this stupid shit we're doing, like we mean it. We're putting these chicks out to guard the president. Like we're not just doing this as a show. Like,
but isn't there some sort of checklist that they have to pass? Like they have to run a mile in a certain time, and they have to be able to holster their gun. And it just seems like there'd be a couple things.
They said that they lowered the requirements on those police academy tests because of women. Did you know that? That's out in the open. They admitted that, like for police academy, they had it required. You have to run a minute at a certain time, climb a wall. They lowered all the requirements.
Yeah, I can tell you, my friend who was in the Secret Service was like a freak athlete. Like he could do.
Right, that's what they should be.
Yeah.
So what happened, Jeran?
Well, the whole thing seems a little bit Adam Lanza-esque. First of all, can you picture that guy with a rifle climbing a ladder onto a building right there with nobody seeing it? It just seems
they did see it. Tons of people saw it.
People did see it though. Yeah,
that's the crazy part.
They didn't see him walking around. Nobody said they saw him walking around with a gun.
No,
they saw him up on the roof, right?
Yeah,
sure.
But there were witnesses that saw that.
Have you seen any video with him with the gun at all?
No.
Or any video of him taking the shot?
No, you see him kind of just like crawling around on the roof, but you do not see a gun in his.
And Jeran, Danny thinks he's seen a lot of cell phone video. I think we're lacking thousands of hours of cell phone video. Like, you think everybody would have had their phone out.
For sure. And then where's like the drone footage? You're telling me they don't have drones at those events? The cops aren't using drones? Yeah, right. So, I mean, it seems to me like there's just, if you look at that guy laying down when he's kind of moving on the roof, like that's on an uphill slant too. Like, he couldn't have taken the shot from there. He wouldn't have had a shot at it. They say that those two Secret Service agents that were up there with their long guns and the tripods on the other roof behind Trump, they were kind of looking over in his direction. They said they couldn't see him because he was blocked by the roof. Well, then if they can't see him, then he can't see Trump. Trump is lower than those guys. So all of it doesn't make sense. I wonder if, like, because he's a perfect Patsy, right? He's what they always want. He's that lone guy. He gets made fun of at school. He's some nut. So I just wonder if they actually tried to take him out with another shooter, and then the guy missed, and then they just kill that kid, and they blame it on him. I don't know. That seems a little bit far-fetched, but I haven't seen anything with that kid carrying a gun. I haven't seen him up on the roof with a gun. Where's the drone footage? It doesn't even look like he would be able to have a shot from there. So, I mean, and supposedly, why is there a ladder there? You're telling me those guys don't walk around before the event and make sure that nothing like that? It's not even a permanent ladder. It's just a ladder that they say was leaning up against the roof. Like, that'd be the first thing you'd take down.
I saw that picture too. That ladder is just sitting there. Jeran, so when you think those the snipers that return fire, I don't think those are the ones that took them out.
Nope.
Yeah.
They weren't, because you can even see as soon as the shots happen, that one guy's like moving his tripod and he kind of got spooked.
He moved that tripod. How unprofessional is that? Like, if you're a sniper in Afghanistan or whatever, you're not. I don't think they train you to move your tripod or whatever just back. I think you would have to just stay there and deliver fire. I mean, but I'm not a military expert.
Moved it.
Yeah,
he moved it. As soon as you hear that first shot, he's like picking it up and moving it over. I don't know. And then he's like, he actually gets spooked by the shot. I would just expect that those guys wouldn't do that. They would be expecting that or something. He like kind of jumps. He gets kind of scared. So I don't know. The whole thing seems very, very strange.
What about the person? What about one of the people that got shot was related to like a state rep or something?
Which one? The guy that died?
No, not the guy that died. There's somebody that got shot that didn't die. And they're related to I forget, and they're related to some politician. I think it's Breezenton.
I don't know. It just seems like the whole thing is just a mess. I mean, first of all, I was like looking at Google Earth, and I kind of put myself in the position where those two sharpshooters were. Like, that roof that the kid was on is the only roof that even had any kind of shot. It'd be the one place that you would look, the one place that you would be watching. It just doesn't seem at all plausible. But I mean, again, the guy got shot over on the other bleacher, and he died. And I'm not saying they can't, fake that, but I mean, to me, it's just something's wrong with it. It's certainly not just a cut and dry. Oh yeah, it was that kid, and there's just no way. How would he have got there and climbed up a ladder with a rifle, with a long gun? The gun would have been as big as him. So it just reminds me of the whole Adam Lanza thing. You're like, how the hell would that kid have mobbed in there with that much ammunition and guns?
And that was real, though. Let's just make that clear for YouTube.
Of course.
Let's just.
I don't want to get fined any multiple billions of dollars. No.
Yeah,
But,
there is an overhead photo that Mark just sent me, but yeah, I don't about drone footage specifically. I don't see it.
Is that one that has he's kind of like leaning and you can see the back of his shirt? Is that what you're talking about?
No, it's just like an overhead photo.
Okay, but before you go, Jeran, do you think that they're going to do it? Do you think they're gonna? Because I was thinking, like, what is even more demoralizing than the pandemic? It would be an assassination attempt. That would like just demoralize humanity. So, and I think it would actually make the world pretty sad.
Don't you think that though that like the way that the media has turned on Biden, that it's almost like they want Trump to win? Because the media has always had Biden's back, and then all of a sudden, like 2 weeks ago or right after the debate, all of a sudden, all of them were calling him senile. All of them bringing up all of his gaffes. It just that wasn't them. The NBC wasn't like that 3 months ago.
Yeah. And I mean, there are a lot of people like, all the wars going on right now that Trump wants to end. There's a lot. It's a real, if you remember the Simpsons when they shot Mr. Burns, it's a real list of people who probably could benefit from this all over the world. Ukraine, Israel.
I mean, how much does it cost? How much does it cost to build a box of bulletproof glass where you wouldn't need all these sharpshooters? You just put the president in a box.
Well, they have the Pope mobile, but I think Trump would think that makes him look weak, and so he just wouldn't do that.
But now he might.
Well, he might change his tune now. Yeah, that's for sure.
Yeah, and wouldn't a gun just like completely obliterate your ear? I can't picture a bullet just nicking your ear. I don't know. To me,
I mean, it must
So you
have
think
been.
that part's fake, Jeran? So you think that is the work? Because like, so you think this could be a double work that Trump wanted this to make him a hero?
I mean, but again,
that
that thing, that's so like that's because if that's a real bullet, you're like, and Trump's like, well, what if that guy misses by an inch?
I
You're
know.
like, that's an
you
impossible.
wouldn't-
That's a fucking impossible shot. No
What do you think about
way.
the picture though, of the bullet? Have you seen the picture of the bullet flying by, Alex?
Is that fake? Is that fake, Jeran?
Well, I don't know. It's the same guy who took the picture of Bush. You know, when he was in the classroom and the guy comes over and whispers in his ear.
Oh, it was the same.
No
guy.
way.
You didn't see the. You didn't see the crowd in that picture.
It's the same photographer that took a picture of the guy throwing the shoe at Bush. Remember how impossible that shot was? Like, how did you know the guy was about to throw his shoe? So, I don't know. There's a lot of questions.
Yeah. All right, Jeran.
All right, guys. Thanks, huh?
Jeran, I'll call you later. We got a lot to
Jeran,
talk about. Good
any
to
relation
hear
to the Hall of Fame baseball player?
What Hall of Fame baseball player named Jeran? Jeran might have
No,
left.
not. Is he gone? Oh, okay. It's the same last name, Roy Campanella.
Jeran is one of the smartest conspiracy theorists in the world.
Okay. He kind of looks like him too, actually. That's why I was thinking that. All right, we're gonna get to your phone lines are closed, everybody. We have too many calls to get to.
They are because I want to kind of react to Amber Rose is freaking. She has a face tattoo and she's reacting at the. She's speaking. At the
conspiracy extremist.
What's up, man?
Hey, what's up?
Yo.
So I'm literally sitting in upstate New York at a lake right now on vacation. I'm looking across the lake right now. I see these lights, and all I could say, I wouldn't have missed. And
yeah.
I gotta be with Jeran right now. I was just listening. You know, he hits it on the top, dude. This is all Trump theater. There's no way this is real. I mean, this is all staged.
Wow.
But the risks
it's all
of
staged. You're telling me
this,
Trump's in on it, and it's all staged, in your opinion.
100%.
I mean, I will say that is the only scenario. The stage scenario is the best explanation for all the Secret Service gaffes here. But again, like the head of the Secret Service, she just had to do some interview. She's going in front of Congress. She's not going to go perjure herself in front of Congress and face literally her losing her whole career, going to jail.
Yeah, I don't
shame
think it's that
over
big of an inside job, but
like,
I think there's probably people that could have stopped it and maybe didn't. But I don't think it's
again.
all
There must have been 20 Secret Service there. No way you get them all on the same page. But it would be the simplest explanation of why that was allowed to happen. But then
So you
a
think
guy
Trump had
got
fake
got
blood?
killed.
Do you
But,
think Trump
someone
had
got
fake-
killed?
Yeah.
So what?
Do you think Trump had
someone's
fake
dead?
blood too?
There's a guy dead. There's someone in the
No,
hospital.
I don't necessarily think it's fake blood, but you think he wouldn't allow, if this is all set up, you don't think he would allow a casualty? Of course he would. Like this is this whole thing.
all presidents know that they allow casualties.
Well, so
from
what?
their
They
decisions.
so it's like they kill the one guy and then they save the the squib or whatever for.
Well, I don't think anyone's killed on purpose, but that's casual. That's what's the word for it? Collateral damage. So from the beginning, all these prosecutions are all made up. It's all his doing. He's making himself to be the victim, to be the persecuted one, and now he gets this failed assassination attempt, which anyone that I've talked to would have hit the nail on the head, if you know what I'm talking about. So this is ridiculous. It's completely fabricated. Trump's in on it. He's just doing this to make him be the one to step in, and the deep state's behind him. Yeah.
I mean, there's elements of that I could believe in, but that still
I
seems
don't
pretty unbelievable. That because again, you're like, so what? There's real bullets, and then they go, okay, we killed a couple people, sprayed a couple real ones, and then the next ones are the fake ones, and Trump knows the timing of it, and he reacts, and oh man, that seems tough one to buy. But who knows? I mean, we'll never know. We'll that you will for sure never know. All right, thanks, caller. Later, buddy.
All right, man.
Conspiracy extremists, everybody. All right, what's going on at the RNC right now?
It was Amber Rose was speaking. She looked crazy.
She's speaking?
Not anymore. I guess she's done now. Damn,
all right.
I missed it.
Amber Rose. She's a big conservative now?
Now,
All
yeah.
right.
Dude.
Caller.
She started this.
You there?
Yeah, I'm here.
How's it going? Who are we speaking with?
Hey, this is Chris. I'm from Portland, Oregon.
Chris from Portland, Oregon. What's up?
Oh my God! Of course, I needed a call. I'm sorry. What?
I said, what's up?
Oh, big fan of both you guys. And I guess what I wanted to chime in with was weirdest thing.
We're having some problems hearing you there.
Yeah, your audio is cutting in and out, dude. I can barely hear you. Are you on a headset or something?
Chris, you there?
Is that better?
Yeah, much better.
Yeah, can you hear me?
A lot better.
All right, sorry guys. I'm at work, so things
No
are
worries.
kind of weird. The weirdest thing to me about everything's been coming out is that this guy, what's his last name? I always forget.
Crooks
Coop or something like that.
Crook.
He has like no social media presence. You know, there's no manifesto. There's very little info at all about this guy.
Sure.
And that
But I
just strikes
mean,
me as
they might,
exceptionally odd.
they
He's
don't
like 20.
necessarily, if there was a manifesto, they wouldn't necessarily release it immediately. It would come out at some point. I don't know if they would release it right away. Like, we could get it next week. This thing's still pretty fresh.
Wouldn't they have at least said like we found something? I don't know.
Maybe.
I feel like we would have been flooded with info for any number of other situations that were similar with a person, except it never seems to come out that quickly when it's somebody that hates conservatives or whatever.
Sure. Yeah, I mean,
but I will mention that while I was waiting on hold, I watched this video in which a crook was claiming he had a 10-inch penis.
I saw that. Yeah.
What is that? Who had it? What?
The shooter. There's a video where he says he has a 10-inch dick.
Oh, I didn't see that. That's weird.
I mean, I know a lot of guys.
Was...
I know a lot of guys who claim that. No. He was like in a high school cafeteria or something.
Wait, you know a lot of guys that claim that you talk about their size?
Like, jokingly. I'm not saying it's true.
So what do you think? Do you think he's got a hog or?
No man with a piece like that would do something. Would do something to destabilize a country like that. I just don't believe it.
The well endowed serve their country like true patriots.
Exactly. All right, gotta let you go. Thanks, man. All right, we're gonna bang these out. What's going on over there, Alex? What are you having a snack?
Yeah, dude, I'm trying to get through the show. My blood sugar level's going low.
Blood sugar's
dude.
dropping?
These guys need to get going. These are veggie enchiladas.
Oh, nice. Okay, we're gonna take another caller. Hello.
Hey, can you hear me?
Yep, you're on the show.
Hey, big fan. Hey, got a new conspiracy for you guys. Now, the source is from 4chan, so you can take that credibility as you want.
Sure.
But sometimes they got good stuff on there. This one's about, so supposedly there's leaked information that the gun that was used was an AR-15 and was purchased by his father. And it was purchased with a scope. And supposedly the shooting he did was without a scope and he used his iron sights. So the speculation is that there's been some videos out there of the Secret Service like bragging about new technology, about how they have some device that's able to scan the horizon and kind of target lens flares that come up, and then the shooters are able to target them right away. And they're speculating he knew that, and that's why he didn't use a scope. And so I'm thinking, like, how the heck is a 20-year-old gonna know to not use a scope? You know, when I was 20-year-old, I was retarded. So it's like, I don't know how this guy was able to plan this out and then choose like the perfect setting to do it with a perfect range for using an iron sight on an AR-15. Like, I felt like he was
incredibly unlikely.
Yeah, he was supposed to be able to hit him with that, I also read on the news they were saying that he got rejected from his high school gun club because he was like a horrible shot. Yeah. And they were like making fun of him that he was so bad. So like,
Yeah.
I don't know why, like if the government was in on it, they would choose a kid who was like super bad at
I mean, again,
shooting.
if the government,
Doesn't
here's
really
my
make
thing, and
sense.
it's like if the government was in on it, and then they set up the conditions to allow someone to get up on that roof and take the shot, and I guess he came really close, but you'd think they would have someone who's like, yeah, I'm going to do this. Like, doesn't they would get someone who's like an expert. Maybe it's easier said than done, but the whole thing
Well, I'm
stinks.
still wondering how he was able to get the gun so close. Like, was he hiding it somewhere, and then he?
Well, he didn't have to go through
overnight-
security.
like,
He didn't have to
scope
go
out
through
the place.
security because and again, that would have been definitely a zone of like, a point of interest where they would have, should have had someone on that roof. You would think a guarantee or at least eyes on it or whatever. But, I guess that we're going to get their story at some point of why they fucked up so badly. And I'm sure it's not going to be particularly satisfactory to a lot of people.
Yeah, it's kind of weird how like not a lot of information has come out about the shooter that much either.
Yeah, I mean, it's
You'd
only been
think there'd be
48
some
hours,
manifesto.
so it's only been 48 hours. So there is, I'm sure a lot more will come out in the coming weeks or whatever. But I agree. It is, it's questionable. Anything else there, caller?
Nope, that's it.
All right, thanks, man. Yeah, I mean, a lot of people have a lot of questions. Phone lines are closed, everybody. Just FYI. Don't want to. All right. And if you're on the line, we are going to get to you. So sit tight. We got... Hello.
Hey, Danny. Hey, Pimp. How are you all doing?
What's up?
Blimping and pimping, dog. You know how it is.
Yeah, last time I talked to you, Pimp, we bet on the Chiefs versus Cowboys, and I won that bet. So you owe me $20, but I won't collect it. It's all right.
What's your Venmo? Venmo you right now.
Yeah, let me just tell everyone here. But what couple
Message
things
me
here.
on Twitter. I'll Venmo you 20. You have to share.
We'll
that
do.
video.
Well, yeah, we'll see. We'll just make it a gentleman's bet. A couple things. One, there's this legal term called malicious negligence, which means that there's an intent to be grossly, well, I guess you're not supposed to use a word in the definition, but to be negligent. And in this case, what I understand, there is an advanced team for the Secret Service that does their normal protocol of checking out security. But the day of the event, they were called, all but, I think it was like 12, all but 2 were called back to assist with security for Jill Biden that was also in the state. So what you're dealing with, I think some other callers were kind of touching on this. This literally was a B or C team. The other Secret Service, quote unquote, yeah, the other Secret Service people that were dressed up, they're actually substitutes from the DHS. So they have some sort of training, but this is not their main job. They are basically like, I think one of the Secret Service agents that stayed was actually one of the women. I don't think it was the one that was struggling with the holster, but I could kind of take my pick of who was B team or C team and who was A team. But if you can just kind of think of, the Secret Service, traditionally used to always say that they were part of the Treasury Department. They would always chase down counterfeit bills and also protect the president. Well, I found it kind of weird that Mayorkas, the DHS secretary, actually oversees the Secret Service. So that, I looked it up, that changed because of 9/11 in 2003. And if you can kind of just tell the demeanor and the way that Mayorkas operates, he's pretty much doesn't have a conscience. Like he basically goes out there every Sunday on all the talk shows and lies about the border. So if you can just kind of imagine Dr. Joe Biden, for all intents and purposes, is the president of the United States right now, even though she wears, furniture as dresses. She's the president. And the one thing I've not been able to track down is what event was she actually doing in the state? I didn't see any news or snippets of her kind of going to some high school somewhere where it's half filled, talking to someone. I haven't seen any news of that. But if you could just kind of imagine, you take the advanced team that had scoped out the site, you take it off, and then you substitute them at the last minute with another security team, you're going to have a lot of gaps. You can only transfer so much knowledge from one team to another, and that's why the advanced team typically stays there until the event's over. So, and then if you look at that Crooks kid, they also said that he had explosives in his van, and I saw a picture of the van. It is a white panel piece of shit van, and if you just look at the kid, I mean, if it wasn't him, actually manning a gun for an assassination attempt, I would think he'd be a school shooter. I mean, the kid looked mute, and I think someone said that Adam Landa had that kind of vibe. I mean, the guy was fucking weird. And if you looked at what 20-year-old kid do you know has a white panel van with maybe they're trying to train to be like a pedophile or something, but you don't see a lot of that. So I think the intent there, and what I'm trying to get at is when we talk about the CIA, they're not directly involved. I think they're involved because they have, just by the way that they've manipulated media, and then you have this whole blue aiming phenomenon, they have set the conditions for a crazy to do something. And when you take off, your mainstay security safeguards and replace them with a C team, and Alex, I'm sure you've seen this at campaign stops. There's always crazies at any type of event.
I mean, Alex is one of them sometimes.
I'm one of them, but I'm just saying there's always counter protesters, and they're taking extra caution, extra measures.
Yeah. So if you kind of switch teams out at the last minute, and this actually happened, I'm kind of curious why no one's mentioned Gerald Ford. Does the name Squeaky Fromm ring a bell?
Sure.
Was
Manson. She's one of the Manson girls.
She was in the Manson family.
Oh yeah.
She also, while Gerald Ford was in a campaign stop, and it was actually kind of funny. I think he tried to stay out of the state of California, but in Sacramento, I think it was September 5th, 1975, he was like doing one of those greeting lines, and she took a couple shots at him. And they got him, and I think she maybe got one that was a couple feet within his face. But 17 days later, another gal with a .38 Saturday Night Special took a shot and was 5 inches from his head in Sacramento. So, he survived 2 assassination attempts. And what I understood was they switched out the security teams on the second assassination attempt because, they had kind of gone in and said, well, there was a huge security gap. So I think in this whole case, Mayorkas, he'll go out there and lie. You can't trust anything he says. But to just know that there's a lot of, the political tension in this country is so high right now. If you wanted to actually have something like an assassination attempt occur, all you have to do is just look the other way, or to switch out people and have create the conditions that some of these crazies, I guess the guy got lucky, or I don't know. Maybe there were several people there. I don't know. But all I can say is plus today, Biden just said, oh yeah, and this is after Trump had mentioned it. Oh, by the way, RFK Jr., we'll now give him Secret Service protection. It's like, well, shit, why didn't you do that before?
Right. If anything, they're now spreading themselves even thinner. There's one more guy.
Yeah,
I mean, I imagine the pool of Secret Service agents is finite. So you're like, okay, well, there's now less of them to go around.
Yeah. Maybe the only true conspiracy theory I can think of is the Secret Service head director. She was at Pepsi, and King Trump, he's a Diet Coke guy.
That's not a bad one. That is not a bad one. All right, thanks, caller. Appreciate it.
Thanks.
Good call. Good call. All right, let's get through these. All right, we got. Oh, okay, we got Rube Star over here. The Rubinator. And we're gonna do our best to get to everybody here. We might not get to all of you, unfortunately.
We gotta hurry because I gotta go in
Yeah.
2 minutes.
Yeah. Just let me know.
Danny Magic, I fuck with Alex Stein. Let me tell you and the whole audience what a solid individual he has been to the Rube Star. Every time I've tweeted him, and I tweet a lot of people, I try not to be obnoxious with it or unpleasant. The Stein mind, just about every time has responded to the Rube Star, and it's been amazing. There's one question, and you know he's a visiting man. There's one question he's never answered the Rube Star, and that's Stein. This is for your diet. Do you know your blood type?
O negative, I believe.
Okay, O negative. There's a book called Eat Right for Your Blood Type.
Mm-hmm.
You actually should not be a vegetarian. The O operates best on a high protein organ meat diet.
I do agree with that, dude. I actually feel better. I can feel a little more constipated, but I don't do it for moral reasons. My health is worse since I stopped eating meat. I do believe humans should eat meat. I'm just such a woo-woo animal.
Well, you got to be a heavy protein. You got to be a heavy protein, and the O blood type needs more iodine. So eat sushi. Go to sushi land. Okay.
I didn't know that. That's funny you say that because whenever I have a cut, if I put that iodine on it, it makes it heal kind of faster. Maybe I'm iodine. I got.
And you have really thin blood. The O's have the thinnest blood, so you should stay away from like blackberries and burdock root. But also, you have the strongest stomach acid. The O's have the strongest stomach acid. You really should not be drinking coffee. I don't know if you like it or not, but it's going to mess up your stomach.
I drink soda all the time, and it makes me feel like crap.
It's so good, though.
Dude, go to ozone water or hydrogen water. Get on that train, dude. It's the way to go. Personal testimony from a Rube Star. Ozone water or hydrogen water. Just look into that. Super awesome.
This guy's awesome.
Oh, Rube Star's the man.
What blood type? Wait, what blood type works best with fentanyl?
I don't know. Let me tell you something else about the O blood type is they like to call the shots. They will drive you crazy because they got to be in charge. That's my own personal experience. Now, I'm an A negative. Danny, do you know your blood type?
I don't know my blood type. As you were asking, I go, that's probably something I should know, but I don't.
Okay, pretend. But
I had blood work. I had blood work done recently, but I don't think
they won't tell you. They won't tell you. It's the easiest thing. It's called an Eldon kit. It's $10. You could order it online. Danny, I'm gonna order one for you and send it to you. All you got to do is prick your finger and drop it on like 3 little circles with water, and they tell you the antigen. If I were to guess, I would say you're AB. Most Jews, I think, are B, but the AB is kind of emotionally distant. So I kind of think of that.
Dude, if you're right, that'll be the funniest thing in the world. All right, I gotta let you go, Rube Star. We gotta get Alex out of here.
Last thing I want to say, Danny, is
sure. Thank you for the shirts, by the way. What's that?
Phony baloney.
Not buying
phony baloney on the subject.
Not buying it. Okay.
It's legal. It's legal to do propaganda in this country since Obama passed some law. Somebody smarter than me could tell you. Love, peace, and hair grease.
Yeah,
peace
Smith
out.
Muntact. Smith Muntact.
There you go. And if you got to get out of here whenever, just let me know.
Well, I got to pack. I'm going to the RNC
you're going to Vegas?
Morning early. Yeah,
well, whenever you got to go, let me know. I'll take calls without you. So.
Okay. Well, let me just tell my chat. I love you guys. You guys rule. I'm sorry I'm not doing the full 2 hours, but now I'm getting.
It's okay. I mean, we're at an hour 45. We're at an hour 45 minutes. This is. Yeah. You've done your patriotic duty.
People have been trying to call in. All right, guys. I love you guys.
Thanks,
Peace.
Alex.
This has been our show.
Where can people find you for the people over on my stream right now?
Watch me on Tuesdays, Wednesdays, and Thursdays on YouTube on our Blaze TV channel, Primetime with Alex Stein.
It gets wacky on there.
It does. And Bad Buddhist, we got a bunch of super chats. Thank you, Tony Munkits. Thank you for all the super chats, guys. I'll try to replay them tomorrow. I love you guys. I'm going to be at the RNC tomorrow getting content. Oh, real quick before I go, any content ideas? What should I ask people? What should I do?
Oh, good. I mean, man, it seems like hard to go too crazy right now because of specifically this. So I don't.
Should I sell little ear patches?
No.
Why not?
Do you have them ready to go?
I can go to CVS and buy a bunch
Mark says he has an idea. Should we bring Mark on for 1 second?
Well, yes. Now it's gonna mess up my feed. Hold on. Let me. Yeah. We
No, it won't. No, it won't mess anything up.
Okay, hold on.
No, I'll just bring him on. No, I'm just gonna bring him on audio.
Oh, on audio. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Mark, you there?
Yeah. What's up?
Hey, what's up?
What's the idea? Should I sell little ear bandages?
No, I think you should do a rap. I think we need another Alex Stein rap, and I'm willing to help you write the bars. So
At the RNC, I need a rap.
Yeah, something along the lines. You can't kill the king.
yes, that's exactly what I was thinking.
Okay, well, text me some ideas. Dark Match Steve's likes it too. He does a lot of song parodies. Should you tell me I should do a song parody at the RNC?
I think.
Yeah. What about the because that's been really popular. The 50 Cent, the Wish Death,
Many
Man, something like that. Yeah. Some version of that.
Yeah.
Something along those lines.
That's it. I mean, I figured you're gonna have all these. I mean, I can rap, I will, but I'm gonna have to ask questions. Like, what questions should I ask? Should I ask nonsensical questions?
Are you asking? Are you going to be talking to people inside or?
Yeah, I'm going to be inside, so I can talk to just people that are attending, delegates, or I could talk to politicians. And I don't know what I'm going to even say to the politicians. I hate just going there and be like, "Oh, I love you. You're doing such a great job," when America's crashing.
Yeah. I mean, it's a tough time for it because, you got to be probably somewhat tasteful with the comedy right now, especially assassination-related jokes.
So
well, you know what? Because everybody there's pretty pro-gun, so maybe you could ask people what their favorite guns are. I don't know. It's a real fucking landmine. It's a minefield.
Should I wear Biden merch?
Is that not the worst idea? Maybe a nice
Biden hat. I have a Biden hat I could wear.
Biden moo.
Just a Biden hat. Just I'm riding with Biden.
Talk about how hypocritical all these whining liberals are, calling for the death of a former president.
Yeah, that could be funny. I just need something. I need an angle. Well, there's going to be protesters there, so I need to go interact with the protesters.
Yeah, I mean, you can go to the protesters and ask them how bummed they are that Trump's going to be there. That Trump didn't die. Again, it's getting real dicey, but that will be because you will get some people who are legitimately like, yeah, I'm really bummed that he is alive right now.
I'm bummed. Oh, well, I'm bummed that he almost died. Yeah, there's a lot of people on the street didn't even care. Like, oh, it's just a BB gun.
Covey Clown says, if I write questions, where can I send them? Just DM them to Alex Stein on Twitter.
Yes, Twitter.
That's a good spot. Twitter.
All right, I love you guys. Peace. See ya.
Alex Stein, everybody. Thanks, buddy.
Thanks, guys. You guys rule.
Okay. All right, we're gonna take some more questions, some calls. And we're gonna wrap this bad boy up. Alex Stein, everybody, the pimp on a blimp, the one and only. Okay, let's see. Okay, let me just move myself over and all right, we'll take some more calls here. And then we might not get to all the calls because there's fucking so many of you. And I appreciate you all calling in. Please subscribe to the channel, like the stream, do all that stuff. Sign up for the Patreon, patreon.com/lowvaluemail, or just become a channel member. It's $1. You don't have a fucking $1. Hello. Hey,
Danny.
Yep.
It's Frank from Long Island.
Frank from Long Island. Sorry for the long hold. I apologize.
No, it's okay. Everyone in my house has gone to sleep, but I'm kind of hiding in my office right now, waiting to talk to the master. Are you gonna convert to Christianity now that Jesus Christ came down and saved the Lord, Donald Trump?
I don't think so. I don't think my family would love that.
Yeah, well, you could do it secretly. Just
I mean, it is the same God. I mean, we have the same God besides the Jesus part. So I feel like it's. I'm not a religious man.
Yeah, don't worry.
Did
about it.
you
Anyway,
see that? Did you see that? He was like a psychic or something, and he literally, this was months ago, and he said on some show that he's Trump is gonna get shot at, and it's gonna literally, he said it's gonna graze his ear, and then Trump is gonna become super religious, and I afterwards, like, and very, very
No,
Christian.
I mean, I would love to see that. That's kind of interesting. But yeah, I mean, back to the thing that you were talking about earlier. I think everyone's in shock, to be honest. I think it's like kind of like this trauma shock that went on where it doesn't seem real.
It definitely doesn't.
I don't
seem
know
real.
if he died. Like the assassination doesn't even seem real. That's why people are kind of like walking around like still just doing their normal daily things, because it's kind of like it just doesn't seem real to anybody. You know,
I
also,
actually
too, a lot
yeah.
of, yeah.
Go ahead. Well, I was gonna say that, like, because when I saw some photos and it looked like he had like a hole, kind of like in near the temple area or something. And then there was a part of me when it happened the other day. This would have been on, I guess, Saturday night. But there was a part of me where they're like, "Oh, he's fine," and then there was like a real worry I had when they're gonna be like, something happened and he didn't make it, and it was gonna be kind of after the fact where they're like, you know what, actually there was kind of more damage than we realized. He was just like in shock at the moment or something, and then, but so thankfully that did not happen.
Yeah, this country would have been done if he was dead. You know, this is it. We would have looked like UK. They would have brought in like another 10 million illegal immigrants. They probably would have marched DeSantis over, who does a pretty good job with his own state. But like when he was running for president, he looked like a Manchurian candidate.
Sure.
I wrote down some stuff so I could get through it and hang up so you could finish the show. But
yeah, go ahead.
If JFK, RFK, Reagan, but really, guys, you should check out Andrew Jackson assassination attempts and the poisoning of Louis McFadden. He's a guy that challenged the Federal Reserve. The globalists are getting pretty brazen right now, but I think really the whole thing may be, and I'm super conspiratorial like everyone else.
Sure.
But the thing is that I think it might actually be DEI incompetence, to be completely honest with you. I think that these people have no idea what they're doing.
See,
and I think that
yeah, like I get that side of it, but there was enough people there, like, who were not DEI. Like there was, obviously we've all seen the chicks and the woman fumbling with her gun or whatever, but that was a minority of the people. The majority of them were not these DEI hires. Like these guys are, I'm telling you, like from what I know from my friend, like these are like elite military people. Like that's where they get them from in the Secret Service. Like they essentially recruit them from the military, and they don't just take people out of like basic training. Like they take the elite ones to begin with. So to say like, you don't just like apply to be in the Secret Service and kind of get hired to it. Like there's like a feeder system that you have to go through so many things to get to that point. So I'm personally, as easy as it is to say that, that doesn't explain how there was 20 guys who still missed that,
No. I mean, I'm 50-50 right now. I mean, I want to lean towards DI incompetence. I do, because pretty much everything that I've read, and researched online has been like a fantastic, crazy conspiracy theory that has come true. The JFK movie with Kevin Costner has a great part in it with Donald Sutherland that I'm glad that a lot of people are making memes out of. And the meme is just like writing down his entire script of what he said to the Kevin Costner character. And one of the things that he said, and he was supposed to be Prouty, this guy named Prouty, who used to be a CIA guy. And he's like, during the JFK assassination, they locked it down so much that, if a window was open, there would be a team sent to see why the window was open in downtown Dallas. There would be people on every single rooftops. There would be everything. But the thing is that when you have people from within that are giving people stand-down orders, telling people to get out of here, there's this famous a videotape of the Dallas motorcade coming down, and somebody on the inside was like, hey, you two guys get out of there. You two guys get out of there.
Yeah, they waved them off, yeah.
Yeah, they waved them off. They put their hands in the air like, what the fuck's going on? But the thing is that, it might have been an inside job. The glaring thing is that no one was on those roofs. Like no one was on it's
unbelievable.
Police officer on every single rooftop. And also, if there's any stairs, or entrances to that building, it should have been a police officer should have been, or Secret Service should have been there as well. But the thing is that I don't know. We'll see what happens as it comes out, because the House of Representatives, and if people want to know, go to Forbes Breaking News on YouTube. I get 99% of my news from Danny Polishek at Low Value Mail, but that 1% I usually go to Forbes Breaking News, where the House of Representatives is really just cleaning everyone's clock. I mean, it's pretty interesting these 3-hour panels that they have in the House committees, where they're just ringing out all these people, the Matt Taibbi, and all this other stuff. But go check that out. But here, and I'll hang up after this, because I don't know how many people are waiting. But the thing that really disturbed me a lot, this goes to the Biden dementia thing, is the thing that really kind of made me like I just couldn't believe it. I was in total disbelief. Is when one of my friends who's a leftist. Well, I'm a registered Democrat too. I'm a leftist from 10 years ago. But the thing is, and now people call me like a right winger. But the thing is that he texted me right after the debate, and he's just like, "Oh, I can't believe that Biden has so much dementia. I thought it was a right wing talking point." And I was like saying to myself, I'm like, how lost? And that's the people that we're dealing with right now. These people are just complete blank slates, lost in the ether, and it's like their firmware or their software in their brains hasn't been updated in the past 24 years. So, all the people that are listening right now, just go slowly with them if you need to try to convert them over to reality, because these people are truly lost. Yeah. I mean, how could you been living in the past 4 years not knowing this? And, when you get all your news from MSNBC and CNN and all that stuff, and, all they're doing is telling people Trump bad. And then, one of the most popular YouTube videos now is people going up to leftists and saying what's bad about Trump. And they can't tell you one thing other than he's bad. Yeah, so it's really a program.
Right. Yeah. I agree with that. And again, people have busy lives. They have families. They have jobs. Not everybody can go watch MSNBC and then go read 2 other sources of the same story to fact check it. It's people just don't have that time. So, and traditionally people were the MSNBC, CNN, they're reliable. Why would they lie to me? And, kind of people are slowly coming around to this. This is entertainment, like fucking wrestling, and it's they're full of shit.
Exactly, man. Exactly. All right, have a good night. Bye, everyone.
Thanks, man. All right, man, I gotta piss so badly. Okay, we're gonna take some more calls. We're gonna go into extra innings, people. All right, we're gonna see if we can bang out all these calls. What we got here? 6 more. All right, not too bad. Come on. Thank you again, everybody, for joining me. Hello. You're on Low Value Mail. Hello.
Oh, hello, Danny. It's Tim.
Hey, how's it going, man? Thank you for patiently waiting.
Yes, let me turn my speaker.
Please do. Thank you.
Sorry about that. Okay, yeah, man, yeah. Good to hear from you. I usually call in on the silly things,
Sure.
Last time I called in was on the homunculus guy.
Yep.
I think I was the one guy that, you remember me? I was like, what the fuck are you talking about?
Oh, sure. Yeah.
Okay. But this shit is serious, man. Fucking Trump almost got shot his head off. That's not cool.
No. I mean, this would be a serious thing if this was a congressperson, let alone, the guy who they've been trying to take down for several years now. And I mean, most rational people are they're kind of really just going after him.
But it seems like most people are rational, but a good section of this country is not rational.
You think a majority of people are not rational? I would almost disagree with you.
No. I would say a good 35. I'm sorry. Continue.
Yeah. Well, I was just going to say, I think a lot of people are apathetic and they just honestly don't care what's happening in politics. A lot of people are just well, whatever it is, it is. I still have to wake up and go to my job. I still have to pay taxes. You know, and if they're not noticing a lot of shit at their local level, a lot of issues, they go, that's fine. You know, like people are like, oh, the migrants. And, you know, there's a tiny percentage of the country who even notice any migrants. And an even smaller percentage.
I'll say this, to a degree, that's how I feel. Like,
sure.
To a degree, if it doesn't affect my, you know, everyday life, I understand that rationale.
Yeah.
You know, but I was at work the other day. Fucking this young kid, he believed that video was edited, and he was like, this was like hours after this shit happened. Well, I was working at night, you know.
I mean, there was a hashtag that was trending or on Twitter that night, which was staged. And I mean, I was looking at comments.
That's what the kid was saying.
Yeah, there was all, and like I saw some people repost on Instagram, some like leftist accounts, some big accounts, like million follower accounts. And you look at the comments and all these people are like, you guys are stupid. This is obviously fake. Like, this is all staged. And it's funny because the left people always used to call the people on the right conspiracy theorists. And then people on the left have almost borderline become the bigger conspiracy theorists, where they're like, yeah, this is a fake staged thing. Yeah.
I feel like that is the real sentiment, you know, right now on the youth. But if you fucking look at it, all right, and this is something that hasn't been said. I've been fucking hanging out here for a while, listening to your show.
Mm-hmm.
So Trump got his he didn't have his main Secret Service detail there.
Yeah,
you know where they got diverted
the previous
to?
caller was just saying that, yeah.
Was he saying it to fucking, what's her name, Biden's wife?
No, what did Biden's wife say? She got the main security detail?
Yes. She was, what's her name? Fucking what Biden?
Joe Biden.
Jill?
Dr. Jill Biden.
Jill Biden was speaking nearby, and that's where Trump's main security got pulled away to go cover her speech.
Yeah. I mean, it's shocking to even think, because I didn't know this until the previous caller said this, that there's, you know, there's a B team and a C team. Like, you think they're all kind of have, there's a minimum requirement.
It has to be. There's sure, but I mean, you know what? You got 100 people on your staff, and you're like, okay, 30 of you are the best.
Sure. I mean, I will say, I was at a party once, like a few years ago, and one of Donald Trump's children was at this party I was at, and we all went out.
You fucked them?
No. It was the one of it was the one of the female children. You could probably figure out which one pretty easily. But we were all at a party, and then we needed like White Claws, and she's like, "Let's go get White Claws," and like everybody walked to like a bodega that was 50 feet away. And there was two Secret Service people who were just like in a fucking Honda Accord who just followed us over. And I can't imagine that they're the A team. Like, now that I think about it, you're like, yeah, probably the ones who just follow the kids around.
Well, you know what I'm saying? There's like this,
but that's
the guys who are dealing with her,
Yeah, exactly. So,
following her to get White Claws.
Yeah, they were the ones who just like follow her around as she runs her errands. And
so if that attention to detail was following that girl to get White Claws, why couldn't they see the fucking sniper on the roof? You understand?
Again, but they were, they were glorified babysitters, so maybe they were the ones who got subbed in for the sniper ones. I assure you, they weren't looking for snipers. Like, this was 2:30 in the morning in New York. Like,
yeah, but they were still doing the job.
They were doing their job, but their job was very easy. Their job was literally to just be like, we're just going to follow her from a distance. Their job is more like if someone recognizes her and starts giving her trouble, they kind of step in.
All right,
they're private security at that point.
All right, so Danny, give me a real assessment of what the fuck you think went wrong.
I don't know. I mean,
was it pure incompetence? Was it pure incompetence? Or do you think there was some
You'll never sell me on the pure incompetence. I mean, that's like the plausible deniability where they'll say, "Oh, we're just incompetent." You're like, "Nah, you're the Secret Service. I'm not going to buy that all of you happen to be incompetent on the same day."
So I very much agree on
I can't buy that.
Yes.
Yeah.
But I don't know exactly what went wrong, and it's only your mind only wanders to. So what was it?
I don't know, because I also think, like, you know, if this was a malevolent kind of deal and the plan was to, you know, assassinate the president, I also can't see all these Secret Service agents being on board with it. So maybe it was someone who the malevolent person was like, we're going to get literally the worst people we have and just pray that this works out. Like, we're going to get the dumbest, most incompetent Keystone Cop, like, guys we have.
That is exactly the one side of it. And then, like I said, they were all, like, kind of transferred at the last second. So it's either they brought in the idiots or they brought in the paid actors.
But even an idiot,
You
like,
know?
I'm not trying to, you know, I can't imagine they're not just looking around. Like, their whole deal, all they do is just look around. Like, when you
Have you looked at the videos of the people yelling, "There's a guy on the roof! There's a guy!" Have you looked at those videos?
Like, have you seen when Trump comes into a UFC match? You see when they bring him in to sit him down to watch UFC, and he has all the Secret Service around him? They're not looking straight ahead where they're walking. Like, they're not looking where even, like, they're walking. They're looking all around as they walk with him, and they're surveying up and around. They're surveying the whole area. So it just seems unbelievable.
So, I mean, gosh darn it, man. It's so amazing to me that people like you and me, I think you're probably a little bit older than me. You know, I'm like 33. You're, probably
40,
a month older.
40.
Seem like a young man.
Thank you.
You're 40?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, congratulations on your wedding, by the way.
Thank you.
Yeah, big Boys Cast fan. But it's amazing to me that people like us it's like obvious, right?
Yeah.
And then these younger people are like, it's fake. That's obviously fake. And they look at you with disdain, like, you believe that?
Well, but that's because that's, you know, they have a framework of how the world is and what they believe. And for them to admit that it's real, they have to start admitting other things. And it's easier to say that's fake. Like, it's the same like with flat Earth. You tell a flat earther, and I know some people are going to fucking call me a retarded globalist right now, but when you bring up any sort of really indisputable point, they go, they just go, like Flat Earth Dave, when I had him on, he goes, you bring up something, he goes, whatever. Because, like, that one thing unravels the whole thing. And it's much easier to dismiss the one thing than have to admit it. And then you got to, like, okay, now I got to deal with 50 other things.
But to me, isn't that the most horrifying thing? Like, people talk about the world's going to shit. The most horrifying thing to me is being like, you believe that so wholeheartedly that you think I'm an idiot, and you won't even dare to look into it. Yeah.
I mean, there's nothing to look into. It wasn't fake. But they, you know, they think this guy's such a con man that I mean, again, their whole framework of Donald Trump is this guy's the biggest con man in the world. So this is just another con. And that's just
okay.
it.
Okay.
You know?
Before I take up too much time, I know you have a lot of calls waiting.
Yes.
Do you know anything about the VP pick? Because I do not.
JD Vance. He's the, I believe, senator from Ohio.
Ohio. But
he's like a tech,
you know anything
he's
else?
like a tech guy. I don't know a ton about him. I just know he's like a Christian conservative guy. I think he's a little more fundamentalist, conservative, I guess you would say, than Trump.
Okay.
But I don't know.
You think he was a good pick?
I don't really know. I mentioned it a couple of times already, but Mike Cernovich essentially was saying that he's an insurance policy against assassination, because now if you assassinate Trump, then you're going to get arguably a more conservative guy. So
that's a fascinating take on it, because I don't know anything about the guy.
Yeah.
But I'll have to look into it. All right, I'm going to let you go. Thank you for talking to me, Danny.
Appreciate it. Have a good night.
What's up?
I said appreciate it. Have a good night. Later. All right. Let's get some more of these calls. Thank you again for everybody for joining the show. If you want to support the show, patreon.com/LoveLML. You get access to all the after shows, exclusive access. Hello.
Danny, it's Tanner.
Tanner.
Let's go.
What's up? How's it going, man? Thank you
What's up,
for
brother?
I've seen your fucking thing here, so I know you've been waiting a long time. So how's it going?
enjoying the show, man.
Thank
Listening
you.
to all the theories. I'm definitely in your camp. You'd have to be a brain dead fucking moron to think that this thing was just, all on the up and up, and it was just, it's just these fat chicks that couldn't handle a pistol. That's why it happened.
And they just didn't think to look at the roof. I can't. But again, there was just there was two or three of them. There was 10 other guys or something. Like it seems
for sure. And snipers. There's trained snipers apparently, like looking at the only building with a roof. Like there were other buildings, but that was the only one of the vantage point. It's like a cartoon, man.
I cannot bring myself to buy that for a second.
It's such nonsense. But to people that think that like it was fake, first of all, someone else died, right? And then on top of that, dude, last month, 37 Mexican political candidates for the president were assassinated.
Yep.
Like these people want World War III so fucking bad, and they're going to do whatever they have to do to keep it going. Like we just have the memory of goldfish. Like we forget the pandemic already,
Yep.
Like they shoved us all in our own houses and fucking stuck us with poison, and everyone's like, I don't know, would they try to kill the president? Like,
well, but the people who say would they try and kill the president, like, or the people who say it's staged or whatever, those people don't believe that the pandemic stuff was bad. They go, yeah, they really care about us, and they were just doing their best, and there was nothing malicious. There was nobody acting on their own interests. Like they just cared about us, and that was that. So
right.
Yeah.
And the other part of it is like, look how they've treated Trump from day fucking one. Like this guy is outside of the the traditional old guard, and it's. I mean, I thought that if they were going to get him in jail, they would have killed him in jail for sure.
Sure. Well, I mean, everybody. The question. Do you remember the question when they were like, "Is Trump going to go to jail?" And they're going to be like, "Well, how's it going to work with the Secret Service? How's the Secret Service going to cover him in jail?" And they go, "I guess they wouldn't have. I guess they would have been fucking taking a piss when some guy goes and shanks the president." So.
Yeah, exactly. The camera is mysteriously all shut off. Yeah, it's crazy. But then I wake up this morning and I start watching the RNC. Oh my God, dude. It's so demoralizing. Like there are no strong people in this country leading us. It's just, oh, fuck. I just turned it on a second ago and you got Amber Rose, a hooker with a fucking tattoo on her forehead up representing. It's like, what are we doing, man?
Yeah.
This is so dark. It's a Black Mirror episode, man.
Kind of. It seems like idiocracy. I mean, I'm not the first person to say that, but it does seem like we're getting closer to that.
Hey guys, what are we gonna do for the RNC entertainment? Well, we'll get like a local jam band, and then we'll get a whore with a tattoo on her face. How about that?
I mean, was Kid Rock not available? I guess he might be there actually. Now that I say it,
he's probably there somewhere. But yeah, I thought it was such a shining hopeful moment, and then you just look at what we're actually up against. It's such a kick in the nuts.
Sure.
It's so bad.
Yeah.
So bad. But I'm just glad that, things didn't turn out bad for Trump and that he survived. I mean, it was fucking epic. The photos and everything are just so legendary.
I mean, I was trying to tell my wife, I don't know if this is like a perfect kind of example, but nobody really knows the second, third order effects of had he, like, nobody can even predict it. Like, if you think about World War I and what's his face, the Archbishop Franz Ferdinand, or whatever, right? Like, he got killed. Yeah. Nobody saw the fucking dominoes that led to what that led to. Like, nobody could have been like, oh, this is about to start a world war. Like, nobody could have ever imagined that at the time. And then all this crazy shit happened. So.
Yeah. Well, like, Nikki Haley didn't step down, right? She never stepped down as the possible candidate.
Yeah.
And so that's where a lot of, more legit conspiracy theories it's like either Biden was going to give them the war they wanted, or if Trump got taken out, they were going to have Nikki Haley right there to go in and keep the ball rolling. So
I mean, the show must go on. The show definitely must go on, but God knows, nobody knows. Well, all right, I'm going to let you go, man. I got a lot of calls to take.
Yeah,
so
brother. Thanks, man. Chief.
Appreciate
See you later.
it. Bye. Tanner, everybody. All right, we got 5 more. Be patient. We'll get to you. We're in extra innings, baby. What's going on with the home run derby? Thank you for all tuning into this and not the home run derby, everybody. Rafe, what's up?
Yo, what's up?
How's it going?
Yeah, pretty good. Yeah, this was obviously a low point in American history.
Yep.
And I'm more on the left side than I am on the right, but I obviously don't wish death upon anybody. Just straight out some facts. He actually wasn't wearing a body vest at all. You can see his nips when he's getting off the stage, and there's no outline of a body armor at all.
Okay. So there you go. I didn't.
And he was definitely shooting. He was shooting it with a whatever the fuck it's called. But it definitely wasn't 5.56. It sounded more like 2.2 undersonic or like supersonic.
Okay.
And so like it's like a silenced bullet without the silencer kind of thing.
Gotcha. Again, I'm like, is what that, so that this guy thought, this is just one theory, so don't like, but what's the idea there, that he's using these choir bullets so that he can do this and get away?
No, probably not get away, but probably get away with like 5 or 6 rounds, which is what he did. But he just, he was on a metal roof, which has heat coming up, so all of his like optics that he was using to like, try, because 150 yards on a 22, that's hard.
Yeah.
Because a 22 travels a lot in the air because it's so tiny.
Right.
I mean, it could have been a 5.56, and that guy just got the most lucky, the most lucky you can get. But
Trump, you're saying got the luckiest or the shooter?
No, Trump got the luckiest. I'm pretty sure.
I mean, there's no question about that.
We haven't gotten like the details about like what his gun and everything, but it sounded like a 22 with like sub supersonic like rounds. That's what it sounded like. And like the most popular like gun selling in the U.S. right now is the AR-15 with pistol bullet rounds, 9mm, 10mm, yada yada yada.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I don't know. Like, even if that's the case, like, that he was using these. Like, again, it's there's so many things that don't make sense.
I've seen a million of these dudes. I grew up on a military base. He is the generic, like, nerd, like, gun lover when he was a kid. And, like, nerd, I want to go into the fucking military. Nerd.
Yeah.
Because I grew up there in San Diego. I went out clubbing and all that. It's half cool, what you expect from like a Marine and whatnot.
Sure.
And then the other half is just a bunch of fucking nerds that are working on the opposite end.
But I guess the question is, those people who want to go join the military, I can't imagine many of them want to kill the fucking president.
No, definitely not.
Right.
But this guy,
how do you square that away?
This guy grew up in a non-military town, and there's thousands of these kids all around the country, on both sides of the spectrum. Left or right. They don't give a fuck.
Yeah.
And they don't have like they don't have Facebooks or anything like that, because they saw 9/11 when they were like, they were a baby, but then they saw like the Iraq War, the whole thing happened, and they were like, the fuck is this? For nothing. And then they start asking questions, and these people, they get like radicalized, left or right. Doesn't matter what side you're on.
Mm-hmm.
You're gonna get radicalized if you like really dig into this shit and like want to make a difference. If that's what your
I
calling
mean, I
is.
guess
But
maybe
I
if we're
feel like-
waiting, maybe we're waiting for some
I feel like it was a
manifesto.
nerd that was like making it like I'm kind of making my calling. That's
I mean,
what
even
feel
though
like it
that's
was.
the case, though, it still doesn't explain how he just was like, what? He goes, he saw on the schedule that Trump's going to be in town. And then he just shows up there. I mean, I guess you could go on Google Maps and kind of get an aerial view and maybe do some, but that still seems, like if you're, for example, caught, you're so fucked, and you would have to expect. You go, yeah. There's no way if I think.
He
away with
expected to
this.
die totally, like 100%.
I guess if he expected to die, if he was like, you know what, if someone comes up to me, I'm just gonna whip this gun out and they're just gonna kill me. I suppose, but
Well, it's also like insane that has even like happened. Like
I wouldn't expect to get anywhere near that.
I grew up on a Navy SEAL base.
Yeah.
And there was more security for like the fucking island that I grew up on than whatever the fuck that was.
Sure.
130 yards? Are you fucking kidding me? I don't give a fuck if it was Hitler on the stand. I would still want like 150 yard proximity just to be like, hey, we try to protect them.
I mean, you would even think it would be 500 yards.
Yeah,
just to be
it should
safe.
be
It's a presidential
300
candidate.
is like so I like I said, I grew up on a military base. It was a Navy SEAL base. There's only 2 of them. Figure out where it's at.
Mm-hmm.
But I knew like the sergeants that were like running the camp and all that shit. I went to a fucking 2-a-days during my football days in high school at the fucking Navy SEAL camp and shit. They do not fucking like, and like they hire like mostly Navy SEALs, Green Berets, all that shit.
Yeah, like my friend was like a paratrooper, and like he worked in the Middle East, and he was
paratrooper. Yeah.
He was like
Anybody
a
that has a
really
lot of
high level
experience.
guy. A lot of
Yeah.
So,
And then
but
you
I
hire
don't know
some
if
chick, and you're like,
But there was again. I know the chick thing, but there was only a few of them that were chicks.
I know.
Like, there were still a lot of guys. One of them, like if they're going to be like, hey, our radios were all broken or something, that's why we couldn't communicate with one another. But it just doesn't make sense. All right, I gotta let you go. I gotta take these calls. But good talking to you, Rafe, everybody. Okay, we got 4 more calls. Please be patient. Then we're gonna wrap it up. Like and subscribe to the channel. Subscribe to the channel, please. Hello. You're on Low Value Mail. Who am I speaking with?
Hey, what up? This is Steven with a PH.
Steven with a PH.
Yes, sir. It's not Stefan.
Not
No
Stefan.
matter what the Starbucks
I would have assumed Steven. Do people call you Stefan? I would have thought Stefan would be with an
Dude,
A.
it's something well, no, that's what rational people would think, but I think the younger generation has grown up seeing Stephen Curry, and he spells it S-D-P-H-E-N. So
So you get fucked by interesting. Yeah, because I saw that note.
I'm getting fucked by the next generation.
From producer
All the
Mark.
boomers
By the
still
way,
call me Steven.
before I forget, Steven, next week we have Old World Florida as our guest on the show, so do not miss that. All right, Steven, go ahead.
Cool, yeah. Dude, number one, thanks for staying on so long. You're a fucking champ doing this.
No problem.
Sad I missed Alex. I actually saw him. I was at the Libertarian Party National Convention. I was a delegate there a few weeks ago. Got to see Trump speak there, and got to interact with the Secret Service there as well.
And did they seem like they were fucking on the ball or what?
They were on their shit.
Yeah.
Yeah, like that was the thing. Like they wouldn't let a cigarette lighter. I had to leave an unopened can of Red Bull outside because that couldn't come into the room. So like they were on their shit, and it was the whole day. It was like starting at the beginning of that day, we were in the convention doing business and stuff, and anytime you leave, it's like, oh no, you can't go that way, you can't use that escalator anymore. Secret Service
makes you think,
like, yeah, but I'm really glad that I did get to hear a lot of the other callers. First off, anyone that thinks that this was staged by Trump is an absolute fucking moron. I would use the term
insanely
Neanderthal, but they can figure out how to use fire. So
Yeah,
the Neanderthals
sure.
have a leg up on these people.
Sure.
Yeah, no, just everything about it is insane. But there's a great book that I think everybody in your audience should read. It is called Terror Factory, Inside the FBI's Manufactured War on Terrorism. It's by a guy named Trevor Aronson.
Okay.
And dude, so it's basically about how almost every attack, every like terrorist attack or, thing that was foiled by the FBI, like I think the Chicago 7 were one of them. Like there were just a bunch of like these, Muslim extremists that were here in the United States.
Yeah.
Basically every one of them was funded and or worked for or was coerced into like committing the crimes. So basically,
Sure.
like every terrorist attack that you've heard of the FBI foiling, they made it up.
They made it. They were able to foil it because they were basically, holding their
They'll set
hands
him
the
up.
whole way.
And this kid looks like he was built in a fucking lab to be an FBI patsy. Like he's a loner. He's bullied at school. He's like super into the hunting thing. The last caller that was talking about, like the guys that are really into hunting and stuff, is like an overcompensation for like their lack of manhood or something. It's normally like the shy, awkward kids. I went to school with several of these kids that it's like they're wearing the hunting gear and they're super into guns because like other than that they're they get picked on and stuff.
Sure.
So that same thing, but this guy was just textbook for being one of these patsies. So I am shocked that he doesn't have any social media presence, because I'm pretty sure if you found any, you would see some maybe like Telegram or Signal messages of him talking to
And again,
somebody who,
we might in next week's episode be like, they found all this stuff, and we're still in the very.
But then the other thing that was crazy was whenever the other guy said about the security detail being switched, and that is the exact same thing that happened to RFK whenever he got shot.
JFK.
And it was his Secret Service. No.
Oh no! RFK.
Robert
RFK.
F. Kennedy.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Robert F. Kennedy. Yeah. So RFK Jr.'s dad, whenever he got shot, his security detail got switched at the last minute, and then they went down. Like his new security detail led him through that kitchen where he got shot, and then now, like if you listen to RFK Jr. talk about it, he's like, "Yeah, no, the Secret Service guy shot my dad." Like,
100%
did not.
RFK says actually the Secret Service agent shot his father.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Because I know he's been saying the CIA.
I think he was also mob connected. Yeah. It was a pretty recent video. I think within the last like couple months, he was on a podcast talking about it. But this thing, like a lot of people are like, oh man, the most logical option is incompetence. But it's like, if you look at the history of political assassinations and of how the FBI and the deep state operate, the most logical explanation is that the Secret Service was in on it, and you don't need all the Secret Service to be in on it. You need one or two top people. You can leave the rest up to incompetence with the B team. You can have it to where the one or two people that are in charge be like, oh, hey, the local cops are going to handle this building over here. That is like the most vulnerable thing according to reports now.
Right.
And then maybe that local cops don't get the clear message from the higher up that they're supposed to be covering that building.
Sure.
So you
There's
really
just
only
kinda
need
some
like
cross
one or two people that are
where everybody
in on it.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
That's probably, I mean, I'd say you've probably given the best argument, or at least explanation of maybe, is that, there was all these people who were that's not my responsibility, but someone is taking care of that. And then they just assumed that it was getting taken care of until it was too late. But then again, if that's the case, then you're like, okay, so then there's these
it's like
deep state higher up people who just decided it's time to kill Trump.
Yeah. Well, like
which
that's
they've
the
done
thing.
before.
And yeah, and I think it was Matt Walsh on, I can't remember. I've been on Twitter so much the last couple of days, but I know Clint Russell has been absolutely killing it with the takes. So if you guys don't follow Liberty Lockdown, Clint Russell has been
he was a guest on the show actually,
but I have heard him on here. Clint's awesome.
Yeah,
like the crazy thing is it was breaking down. It was like, okay, so they wanted to remove Biden after that horrible debate performance and get somebody else in there fresh. And right here before the convention, Trump hasn't picked his VP yet. This is the perfect time. If you get that shot off, which, like you said earlier, the only thing that prevented that shot from hitting was half a second before Trump did one of his little head turns that he does.
Yeah.
And like literally divine intervention, or as
Unbelievable.
close as you can come to it, like kept us from being in a hot civil war right now. But yeah, like it's not something that was just like staged or anything like that. Like this is
Definitely
that
wasn't
targeted
staged,
incompetence where
Yeah. That's unbelievable. All right, Steven, thank you for calling in. I appreciate it.
Awesome. Hey, dude, thank you so much. Y'all read Terror Factory. Peace. Love y'all.
Cool. Later. All right, 3 more callers, everybody. Thank you again for sticking with me. Let's make these quick. And thank you for, if you're holding, I appreciate you holding because you have been holding a long ass time. Hello, you're on Low Value Mail. Who am I speaking with?
Hey, this is Evan from Florida.
Oh, how's it going, Evan from Florida? How you doing, man?
Good, man. How you doing tonight?
Very good, very good. What's up?
So I have a lot on my mind about this, and just a few points that I wanted to make. One, I think that the only options for this are either gross negligence or a conspiratorial setup. I mean,
Which one do you lean more
that
towards if you had to pick one?
If I have to pick one, I think it's a combination of the two. I don't know if you remember this, but recently a lot of the left has been pushing for Donald Trump to lose his Secret Service detail, also saying, felons shouldn't be able to have Secret Service details.
Yep.
So the timing's kind of interesting on that. Two, I mean, I was in the military, but just generally, I mean, I know the women stuff isn't like a big thing just because there's incompetent women on a team of Secret Service agents mean like, that's the setup. But 3 new people on the ex-president at, doing speaking rallies outdoors, it's kind of sus. That's like a pretty big percentage of the team to be not being the top of the detail, like in the top percentages of the detail.
Well, I guess someone was saying that Jill Biden had a speaking engagement not far. So
coincidentally, right? Coincidentally, not far. She happens to be in the same state doing something, and
Sure.
they pull away resources. I don't know how true that is.
Well, then now,
But
I
that's
mean, if
interesting.
you're doubting that, though, now we're getting into like crazy conspiracy territory. This is not
Yeah.
This is not some small
I
conspiracy.
just mean I don't know for sure if she was in. I haven't researched that. I don't know if she's in the same state on the same day, but or why. But that's besides the point. And if I saw today, a map of the overhead of the location, and like usually a perimeter that you set up is like a certain distance. That's like a radius from the central point of interest, right?
Yeah.
And they used the Pac-Man, the Pac-Man perimeter, which just happened to be perfectly cut out of that
I
building.
thought that was
should
a
have
joke.
been,
That's a real thing.
No, that's not a real thing. Obviously,
Oh,
you
okay.
should have a circular perimeter or a square
Oh, okay.
perimeter.
I saw that and I was like, okay, yeah. Okay, so that was a joke.
But that's insane. And so, I mean, as far as if you're asking me which way I'm leaning, it looks like a mix of the two. But it only takes one person, the person doing the planning. Like, you don't need a lot of parts to be in on a conspiracy just to make a hole for someone that you push into the direction to be there, in my opinion. You just need someone to plan the op bad. And that's really all.
But again, like, when you say they had the B team or whatever, but they have to also have simultaneously knowledge that there's someone coming to do that, because it's not like he has all these rallies. He doesn't have someone coming to kill him every rally, right? So they had to have known that there was also.
I mean, he might, but they might be catching or stopping. And, we don't know about all the stuff that they catch with intel and foiled things. I mean, they're not going to do a press release every time they stop a crazy person.
But it seems like it would have to be somewhat uncommon. I can't imagine it's common that that's happening. So,
yeah, I would hope it's not common.
And
but
again,
that kind of brings me to my.
Yeah, go ahead.
No, that kind of brings me to my second point, that I think it's absolutely insane that the left wants us to bring the temperature down to the rhetoric and all this shit when
That's
they've been
nonsense.
calling Trump Hitler for 10 years.
Literally nonsense. Like, I mean,
Yeah.
I was saying earlier, I was watching CNN and they were trying to essentially, like, say everything other than like, maybe we had something to do with this. They said every other thing other than, maybe we did something that, but they could never reach that conclusion. It would be impossible.
Well, because they're not reasonable adults like we are. Like, even when you were not getting a fight with our wives or our girlfriends, we're like, maybe we had some part. I kind of apologize, even if it's totally our wife's fault, right?
Yeah.
That's being a nut job. We'd have some culpability, like, you know what, I could have stopped this earlier, da-da-da-da-da. But Joe Biden comes out here and he's like, oh, you know what, the rhetoric is bad, and, we need to tamp down and unite the country. Meanwhile, you've been talking all this shit, saying crazy things about Trump, calling him literally a fascist, literally Hitler. He's going to take your freedoms away. And then the onus is on us to be the responsible adults and lay off you guys for what you've done to our country. I think it's just so.
They're just like, why can't they go? It's time for everybody to just be the bigger man. And you're like, that's easy you say versus taking any sort of accountability.
Yeah, well, when you're telling your base who are already people who are willing to burn down buildings, tear down statues, graffiti, whatever, and literally have no respect for law, have no respect for other people's personal rights, and you think this base to tell them literally someone's a fascist Hitlerian figure for 8 years, you don't think you're going to propagandize people into committing political violence? Because if you believe that's the truth, then you're justified to go after the guy.
Sure.
We had World War II over it.
I mean, I'm sure there's a lot of people who have, and there's a lot of people who have probably fantasized about doing exactly what happened, and they just maybe didn't have the, means or maybe the stones to go do it. But I'm sure there's a lot of people. I mean, there was a lot of people who were publicly pretty upset that he was not killed.
Yeah, at least these crazy people on TikTok that are like saying that outwardly, at least they're honest.
Yeah.
At least they're showing their true colors and not being like Nancy Pelosi and Joe Biden, like, oh, we're so glad that the president's safe. You're calling this guy Hitler. If someone was in a time machine and didn't kill baby Hitler, you'd be you'd be happy.
Sure. Yeah.
Come on. Like, it's just at least these people are unhinged leftists. And I know you used to be just like me. We used to be social progressives back when that was like allowed and reasonable.
Mm-hmm.
I'm a punk dude. I'm a tattooed covered guy. I went to the military and kind of became more conservative, but at least we're honest. These people aren't honest anymore. That's why we can't associate with them.
Yeah. I mean, they live in a different reality. Maybe the difference is we live in reality and they are just, they're living in fantasy land.
And I think I've come to the conclusion, we used to as a conservative, you want to hope that people are actually making honest arguments, but I've just come to the conclusion, leftists just have no problem lying. They really don't care.
For sure.
Like,
they don't.
It's
well, because the thing is they think the stakes are so much higher that they feel like we have to lie, because if we start telling the truth, then we're going to devolve into,
we lose power.
We lose power, and we're going to devolve into our like a worst case scenario kind of fears. Which is just not the case.
But they might not even believe that or not. They might just want power so bad that they think words are weapons, and they just want to destroy the power system so they can build one in their own. They think if they're in charge of utopia, it's not going to be disastrous, basically.
Yeah, that is a good point. All right, I got to let you go, man. Oh, sorry, last thing.
Can I just do one quick?
Yes, go ahead.
One last thing. As far as JD Vance goes, it kind of sucks that it kind of slowed down the momentum of what we were feeling as far as party unity, which kind of sucks, because we all were super unified behind Trump's strength that the leftists can't even comprehend. He stood up and pumped his fist. But hopefully we're still united. But Tucker did say that out of all the politicians in an interview yesterday, that this is one of the guys that he thinks are actually one of the few good people in Washington or, in Ohio, out of the politicians he knows. And Tucker, Tucker's an honest guy. Like, for all his other faults in the Iraq War, now he's a very honest guy, and I respect his opinion. So Tucker Carlson saying, out of all these power-hungry, disgusting politicians, this guy seems like he has principles, then that's good enough for me. To keep me on the Trump train.
Anyone who has Ari Shaffir on their podcast has got my vote.
Yeah, exactly.
Right. Yeah.
Exactly.
All right, thanks, man. Appreciate it.
Thank you, Dan.
All right, 2 more calls. I know Slav's been on. You guys must have been on hold for 2 hours at this point, so I thank you for hanging on. All right, second last call. Who we got?
No,
there we go. What's up?
Hey. I just wanted to open with something. I wish Alex just heard. Saturday. You know what that was, man? That was White Boy Summer.
Yeah.
That is the pinnacle. And dude, I feel like I've like peaked at full assimilation of America, because I'm from a place where journalists and politicians they slip out of windows by accident.
Sure.
And it really is White Boy Summer.
All right, I'm feeling it. So, you think any of this is? Are you leaning towards more conspiracy or more incompetence, or both?
So with all these things, what I'm glad nobody even brought that shit up at work. But the only thing everyone would tell people in public is just remember what they tell you right now. Like, remember the headlines. Remember what you see printed on the newspaper when you're standing in line. Remember the headlines right now. And then just kind of keep track of how they change it. Like, that it is completely neutral to tell that to anybody on earth. You'd be like, just, watch how they change headlines. They're going to do that.
Sure.
What is it? Ryan been on their show, Drinking Bros. Ryan, Dan Holloway basically just had like one tweet that was like, wow, you missed multiple shots from 150 yards, yet you were able to stalk and crawl into position undetected for 150 yards.
I mean, he came really close. I know that he missed, but God damn it, I don't think you can get any closer.
And you know what is so awesome? So I get a rap for being insensitive to the other subspecies.
Oh, come on.
Of no. Have I not told y'all? Racism has helped people. Racism has for millennia has kept different tribes of people safe and secure.
Sure.
And this just happened. And then, hey, all the different multitudes. I mean, I'm pretty sure there's more than one person who saw that who's like, maybe God is real. Like, I don't know.
Hey, it's a compelling argument. I'm sure Trump thinks God's real, and I'm sure he thinks God's looking out for him specifically.
I really.
I mean, if you're a Trump supporter, I'm sure the overlap of Trump supporters and religious people is probably a decent overlap. And then, I mean, I don't know how they could think anything other than that at this point.
My whole thing, I almost feel like I won't even have to, like, I never voted before,
Yeah.
So, like, and before all this, I was like, bro, yeah, I'm just going to have to vote. But, I mean, wait, hold on, what was this shit? I mean, dude, then the one thing with the memes, I hope they memify this shit into the fucking ground. Hawk Tua girl, she can step aside. The only meme I want that I will recommend to people is, remember that Vincent Van Gogh painting that he painted of himself after he cut his ear off?
Yeah.
Yeah, there's one with Donald Trump's face, and it's painted in there to match the style. That's my only number one suggested meme. And it's very tasteful. It's very classy.
I bet that's out there. I would bet that if you go scour the internet, I wouldn't be surprised if that's kicking around already.
Dude, International Telegram's been popping off on their weird shit. If you want a little.
I just looked it up. It's Trump Van Gogh. It's there.
How do you like it? It's very tasteful.
Yeah.
Like, you could send that to anyone, no matter how they align.
Yeah,
and if
yeah.
they're,
it's pretty funny.
A little, what is it? International update on Telegram. There are frontline Russian troops and on the artillery shells, they are writing za trompa, za ucha trompa. They're writing for Trump and for Trump's ear. Yeah, I know, but it's like they're sending it onto the Ukrainians, and they're like, this is for, touching the dawn,
Sure.
Like,
hey, I mean, there's a.
But it's ironic, they're, they're room temperature IQ dudes serving in the front lines. Meanwhile, in Moscow, journos and politicians getting shoved out
I
the
mean,
window.
a lot of times with shit, when shit goes down, they say follow the money, and there's a lot of poor Ukrainians if Trump gets elected. So there's no question of that. There's a lot of people in Ukraine who have a lot to gain by seeing Trump out of the picture.
And I think we need to start changing the narrative about this whole globe Earth or flat Earth. I keep saying it. The Earth is shaped like a dreidel.
Dreidel Earth?
And it's anyone who complains, hearing somebody say that the Earth is shaped like a dreidel, why would they complain about it? Like, why would they not want the Earth shaped like a dreidel?
Yeah, I mean the stem part's where you lose me on the dreidel. Maybe a dreidel without the stem part, but the stem is
maybe it's like upside down Arctic wall. But yeah. And right before I hang up, I'm just gonna leave you. Oh yeah, the most serious part I did want to tell you was, have you heard of the concept of Hanlon's razor?
I've heard it. I can't think of what that is at the moment, but
so the saying goes, never attribute to malice that which is inadequately explained by stupidity. So it's basically what the mistake that Trump did in the first time debating Biden was running his mouth. This time he just sat back and like, bro, they're failing. Let them prove themselves.
Sure.
I don't have to do anything. This is working out in a weird way. Like,
yeah, I can't say I disagree with you on that one.
And subscribe to your Patreon because I want to give you some gas money because I want you to do the same thing as Alex Stein and give you gas money for your wife's boyfriend bull, just like Alex Stein does.
Appreciate it,
but
I don't have a car. All right, thanks, Lav. We'll see you tomorrow. Slav, everybody. All right. Last call of the night. Thank you, everybody. We did almost 3 hours. I got to piss so bad. God damn it. Don't forget Old World, Florida next week. Hello. Last call of the night. Who we got?
Hello.
Hey.
Can you hear me?
Yes, I can. Who am I speaking with?
My name's Eamon. I just want to say, I look at these events over the past 8 years or so, and all I can think is solution, reaction, problem. You know, Hegelian dialectic. You look at, like, for example, those constitution-free zones, right?
Okay.
You know what I'm talking about?
No,
the
no, I don't.
100-mile gap on the coastline of America. There's a 100-mile space where your constitutional rights do not apply.
Like international waters kind of deal?
Sort of, but the way that you get this is you have a unruly border, right?
Sure.
You allow that to happen, you get your prescience, your control. Another good example is to get more policing in your cities. You allow drug addicts and violence and gangs to roam free so that when a shining savior, a Meshiach, right, comes into office, he can, he can cure it all. You know what Biden reminds me of? It was either Nero or Caligula that nominated his horse to Senate. Do you know that?
I did not know that.
Yeah, it's almost like a prop puppet figure for everybody to laugh and jeer at, so that this figure can come into play. So why do we need a Trump figure for the years 2024 to 2028? Why do you think we would need that? I think I can come up with a couple ideas.
Let's hear it.
Well, you've got, he's the most Zionist president we've ever had, right?
Sure, yep.
He's a friend of Israel. It's as these things brew, you need a figurehead to control that narrative, to take the helm. It does frighten me. One thing I like about your show is you get a consensus view of maybe the American goober or a layman, right? It's
I think I get a pretty wide
everybody.
swath.
I would agree with that, but the amount of rhetoric I hear of people going, Savior, Lord Savior Trump, King Trump, it's even if it's in joke, it still rubs me a little off. And I'm no liberal by any means.
Sure.
You know? Yeah, I don't know. I just wanted to say that if you look at it as particularly once you have the past 8 years, when these things are happening, it's hard to perceive, but maybe it's a frog boiling in the pot, where once you have those 8 years, you can really see kind of a plan set in place.
Yeah, and when do you kind of theorize this plan got set in place? You're saying at the beginning of the Trump, or this is during?
Who knows? Maybe Babylon, for all I know. It could be. I don't know. I would say, if anything, a loose idea got set in place in 1933. But more and more, I kind of see it as like a I don't want to say preordained, but that's a word that's coming to mind.
Okay.
Like, it all has to happen, right?
I mean, that's one.
I don't think the votes do anything.
You don't think the votes do anything? I mean, certainly if Biden, certainly we'd have a very different last 4 years if we'd have a Trump presidency. You wouldn't concede that?
I used to be an elevator tech, and do you know we didn't wire the elevator door close button to anything. It was just a light.
I've heard that that it's not. It's just so you can. I've literally heard that before. So it's just you can press it and think it does something.
Yeah, you can press it all you want. You know,
Damn, that's it's a pretty good metaphor.
I think that these battles are just, if anything, it's on a spiritual sense, our brains and emotions are like a water wheel where you have to have the consent of the people, not by vote, but by belief, you know, by like, they want, hey, you could call it brill, chi, they want to take your loosh, you know, they want to take what's good from your energy, and these are the ways they do it.
Yeah. Yeah. All right. Thank you, caller.
Anyway.
That was a great last call.
Yeah. Hey, love your show, brother.
Thank you. Thank you for hanging on there. On hold.
Yeah.
Appreciate
Bye.
it. All right. Take care. All right, everybody. We did 3 hours. That's been the show. Thank you very much. That elevator button analogy metaphor. Too stupid. Thanks, Gark, for the super chat. I appreciate it, man. I appreciate everybody who new members, the super chatters, Alex Stein, of course, our lovely producer Mark, and all of you who've sat with me for the last 3 hours. I honestly do love talking to you, love hearing from you. I think it's kind of, I don't want to say important because that's gay, but you know, it's good to hear what just people think. Because you know what, I think a lot of people normally, besides fucking banging around in comments and stuff, you don't actually get to talk to people normally. So anyways, I appreciate you all. We're going to be back tomorrow night. All new episode of The Bathhouse, 9 p.m. We have Drew Montana from Do-Rag and the Deer Tag. And who else do we have here? Bobby Sheehan, comedian Bobby Sheehan, really funny guy. I don't know if you guys have heard of him, but he is fucking hilarious. And we have one slot open, so I'm going to book that tomorrow afternoon. Thank you very much. Again, if you want to support the show, we're going to have an after show next week. It'll be subscriber only, so you can do literally $1 on the channel. We'll get you in. We're going to watch some videos. It's a fun time. We just hang out. And Old World Florida will be the guest next week. Thank you very much, everybody. Bathhouse tomorrow. I piss now. Good night.
My shit heroic. Empathic abilities, yeah, my face be also stoic. Bleep blow up, nigga, that just means I'm working. They see me as a leader, so that's why I'm Captain Kirkin. These charts from the stars, that much is for certain. You can feel this hit if you up or if you hurting. I'm raising my stock, not talking my feet in some Birkin. Number Johnny 5 got a fucking short circuit. Bring the track to life when I spit phenomenal. When I hit, she feel that shit in her abdominals. These rappers make me laugh like comic view, they comical. You know I got a ball out, I hit the track running just like Sonic do. They don't wanna turn on my light switch. Yeah, they was trying to get me on my hype shit. Yeah, they don't wanna turn on my light switch. Yeah, and they tried to down me up some KO type shit. Yeah, they don't wanna turn on my light switch. Yeah, now we pulling up fresh on some flight shit. They don't wanna turn on my light switch. Yeah, they don't wanna turn on my light switch. They don't wanna turn on my light switch. Yeah, they was trying to get me on my hype shit. Yeah, they don't wanna turn on my light switch. Yeah, then they tried to down me up some KO type shit. Yeah, they don't wanna turn on my light switch. Yeah, I'm pulling up fresh on some flight